disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Well. Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast, Open Lines Friday edition for everybody on this cold, and I do mean cold, winter evening. My goodness gracious, let me tell you something, fellas. We've got ourselves a nice little show here, a lot going on. Couple of surprises in store, I believe. Open Lines Friday means you all get to join via the Discord. We're going to be posting the link throughout the show in case you haven't joined the Discord. It's very easy. You don't need to verify the account, I don't think. Just step in, do what you got to do, and boom, you're in. All right, fellas? But before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't done so already. You can check out the episodes on Spreaker, Twitter. What am I talking about? Spreaker. That's right. Spotify and iTunes. Yes, indeed. At your leisure. And you can check us out on Twitter if you're so inclined. Why not? Go on over there. Scamper on over there. See what's up on the BDA Boxing Twitter page. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Andres Shooter. Shout out to Andres Shooter. Carlos Mendoza. C. Jaramillo. Triple JJJ, Shazar, Official Scorecard Boxing, The Quags. Rapak Stroker says 10-4, right back at you, man. Shazar, Iceman, and many more people to come. I'm sure, fellas, thank you for joining us. You know the drill. Like I said, it is an Open Lines Friday, so that means that anybody can join. And we got a lot to talk about, man. We got the Gary Russell Jr. fight tomorrow against Magsayo. By the way, Gary Russell Jr. had to struggle to make weight. He actually had to win twice to try to make the weight. So on top of all that, he says his father is ill and that affected his training. He said he has a slight injury. I don't think he specified what the injury is. Now he's saying that if he looks too good, it might not be able to get the opponents to come to the table. It's going to scare them off. How anybody could be scared of a guy that fights once a year and who's getting up there in age, I don't know. But I mean, that's his thing. And now it turns out that he had trouble making weight. So is he trying to set himself up for a bad performance and have a bunch of excuses? Or is he giving a bunch of excuses because he's purposefully going to look bad to try to attract people? I mean, I don't know. The latter doesn't make any sense. The latter theory. So, but this is why it's Open Lines Friday, because I want you guys to tell me what's up with that. Tomorrow we also got Matthias taking on Ananyan. Ooh, that's going to be a good fight. We also got Tyson Fury and Dylan Whyte not fighting each other. And more talks of them not signing an agreement to fight each other. Then we got Hrgovic and Tony Yoka. That fight might not happen. So apparently some people are saying that maybe Joyce is going to step in. We don't know. So there's a lot to talk about. All right? A lot to talk about, and I want to hear from you. So what we're going to do is here, first I'm going to show you guys in case you don't know how it works. We got the old Discord here. Now, wait a minute, that's the new Discord. All right, we got Discord open there, as you can see. By the way, somebody posted that Somebody went over to Chris Mannix's page and said, Chris Mannix, Showtime Boxing. What would happen if somebody touched your weak-ass chin, Mannix? Who's threatening Mannix over off? Well, it's not a threat, technically. They're asking a question. Anyway, so here you have the BDA Discord, right? Nice and clean. Nice and pure. And there you see there it says BDA Boxing there? Actually, let me highlight it here. There you see that. See how it's flashing BDA Boxing? Go on BDA Boxing, click on the speaker icon. Bada bing, bada boom, you're in. You're in the show. I'm not there yet, so give me 2 seconds. Actually, what am I talking about? Yeah, I'm going to jump in there right now. Might as well get it cracking right now. There you see Butcher's posting the link. I think that's the link. And let's get the party started, man. There we go. I'm in there. Anybody can jump on. The Butcher just put the invite there in the chat. So let's get to it, fellas. Show me what you got, man. Let's make it cracking. Let's make it crack. I don't know what that means. Let's make it crack. All right. All right. I'm actually going to change it here. Oh, it's because I'm all alone here. That's why. All right. As soon as somebody jumps in, we'll get this started. Yeah, like I said, man, Magsayo, we talked about this yesterday. Magsayo is a good boxer puncher, but the guy that gave Russell trouble the last time, Nagamayer, I don't know how you say his name, the Mongolian dude, he actually had some craft. He was coming forward, bobbing and weaving, showing some good upper body movement. He was placing his shots well, and that's why he gave Russell Jr. trouble. Magsayo is not that type of guy. He's a boxer puncher, like I said, on the outside. And he likes to stick on the outside. So it's I don't know how it's going to happen. All right, we got people jumping in. We got Felipe Percha and Forerunner Vladimir. Fellas, thank you for joining us.
Hey.
Yes, indeed. Hey. Fellas, what do you think about this fight tomorrow between Gary Russell Jr. and Magsayo? Are you excited for it, or do you think Gary Russell Jr. is just going to box circles around this guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it, to be honest, just because, there's a lot of unknowns surrounding Gary Russell right now. He's been out of the ring for like 2 years. Magsayo, he's an up-and-comer. He hits hard. He hits harder than I think anyone Russell's fought, at least in a while. So it should be an interesting fight. The smart pick in theory would be Russell by decision, but I think he's primed for an upset right now.
All right, that's Felipe's prediction there. I get the same feeling, man. I get the same feeling, but again, it's just a feeling. We like on paper, Gary Russell Jr. is supposed to be better than this guy. But what anybody else want to go and tell?
Yeah,
what you
sure.
think? Yeah.
In my opinion, if Magsayo, he has a hurt champion in front of him who had a little bit of issues making weight. If he doesn't realize what's in front of him and he messes around and loses, in my opinion, you should induct Magsayo into the Hall of Bombs, not the Hall of Fame.
All right. But does anybody else find it weird that Gary Russell Jr. is being very forthcoming about his injury, the father thing? Now he's not making weight. Then he says that he believes that if he looks too good, he's not going to be able to get the fights that he wants. Is he setting himself up for failure, you think, or what's going on here?
It kind of seems like he's trying to soften the blow. Like he knows he's not going in 100%, so he's just like getting it ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like super like, oh well, this is a shock. Like, well, he did say that his dad's hurt and he's hurt and he's missing weight. He doesn't want to look too good.
I've seen 14-year-old amateur boxers that have better ring IQ than Gary Russell Jr.
Oh, it's mighty hard on you, man. Well, why would you say that?
I mean, to me, it seems like he has conditioning issues or something. Like he doesn't really put in much work when he's in the ring. It's not very interesting. It's about time for someone to, like a young stud like Magsayo, to step up and knock this punk out and get rid of him for the betterment of boxing.
I mean, that I don't completely disagree with that. I mean, the whole betterment of boxing thing. I mean, this guy has been halting. He could have fought Josh Warrington. That didn't happen. Could have fought Zucan. That didn't happen. At some point, I believe he could have fought Leo Santa Cruz, unless I got my timelines mixed up. It's just other than Jojo Diaz and Johnny Gonzalez, he didn't really beat that many good fighters. I mean, it's hard to beat good fighters if you're fighting once a year for the past 5 years.
At the press conference, he was calling out Leo Santa Cruz.
They're advertising him as like the longest reigning champion, but he's really just the most inactive champion.
Hasn't it been like 2 years since his last fight or something?
Yeah, he fought that Mongolian dude.
I mean, that Mongolian dude like whooped his ass from round. It was like mid rounds onward. And in my opinion, what the hell happened there?
Yeah, I actually just rewatched that fight last night, and he looked. I don't know if he got tired or not, but he was getting caught a couple times with a Mongolian dude.
You know what?
He's
You're
obviously not 100%. I think he took this fight for a paycheck. You know, he had a 2-year layoff. His dad is sick. His brother just died. I mean, listen, and he came overweight, so I don't think he's 100%. You know, he even said he had an injury. I think he's just trying to, put this out there. So if he does lose, then he can fall back on all the excuses. You know, his dad is sick. You know, he's going through a lot of stuff in his personal life. He had an injury or whatever. That's the only reason I think he took this fight solely for the money. And I don't think he's 100%. I think Magsayo will knock him out.
Well, how much money?
I think if Magsayo doesn't knock him out, I mean, somebody in the immediate future will definitely knock this punk out, because there's not too many places for Gary Russell to turn to with the new stock that's coming through and the top dogs at the top of the division. So, I mean, he's running out of real estate for being a bum champion, basically.
Yeah, I get the feeling you don't like the Gary Russell Jr. What's up with that?
It's not that I don't like him. I just don't. I think he's just, out of every boxer that's a champion right now, he stands out the most, not because of the accomplishments and the victories, but because of the amount of him. I don't understand how people with his style, with his work that he puts in the ring, wins fights. To me, it's just a big. I don't know how to explain it. He bores the hell out of me. Quite frankly, it has nothing to do with me liking him. I'm sure he might be a good person.
Okay, well, not but you don't think
absolute
essentially
shit.
What's going on here is you don't think highly of him as a fighter.
Wait, BD,
no.
Just because you think his style is shit doesn't mean he can't box. Doesn't mean he doesn't have skill. Doesn't make any sense. Just because you think he's trash, just because you don't like his style, doesn't mean he can't box. Doesn't make no sense.
I mean, he hasn't showed not one time that he can box.
Oh, he did against Kiko Martinez, against Jojo Diaz, against King Tug. What are you talking about?
I mean, and he's gonna about to feel he's gonna find out what it feels to get knocked spark out and everything go down the drain.
Well, speaking of
that's
that,
the case.
You sound like a hater, to be honest.
I
just don't like bum fighters.
I mean, I think Gary has ability. He has a lot of ability. He has skills. He has speed. He has some of the fastest hand speed I've ever seen. But I think a lot of it's wasted because of his inactivity and his lack of, activity in the ring. Because he's only fighting once a year. He's fought like 5 or 6 times in the last 7 years. So I think it's not that he doesn't have skills. I think it's more the fact that he doesn't show them in the ring.
Is it just me, or like Felipe has like background noise? Or
yeah, there's a little bit of distortion on your end there, Felipe. Maybe jump out and jump back in. But I want to get back to that. So MMA champ, you're saying Vladimir is being a hater?
Most definitely.
Forerunner, Vladimir, you want to respond to that, or you want to leave it at that?
It's not that I'm hating on.
Yes,
on
he
the
did.
man.
You just called him a bum.
I'm just he's a freaking bum fighter. I mean, he has no he does not fight interesting. He does not make fights interesting. He does not
That
even
doesn't mean he's a bum
go
fighter.
for.
That has nothing
It
to do
sure
with skill.
does.
That
Has a lot to do with skill. Because if he sits there and he throws sissy shots the whole entire fight, nobody wants to watch that shit.
Listen,
I mean, everyone in this server will pass out watching him fight anybody who's relevant.
Wait, Forerunner. Not every punch you have to throw with power. Because if you throw every punch with all your power, that is less accuracy. That leads to less accuracy, right?
Well, because he has a power punching efficiency problem doesn't mean that anything.
Forerunner, let me speak. Maybe his shots are not that hard, but it's more accuracy to his punches. Okay, you understand that? You understand what I'm saying?
In my opinion, he's very inaccurate anyway, so I'm not.
I got Gary Russell Jr. winning
just a straight up hater.
Split decision off rip. Gary Russell Jr. is always pull out the biggest upsets. You feel me? He an old taker. He like taking niggas O's, so that's what's gonna happen.
Well, let me tell you, man. I mean, I think there's a common ground here, or a middle ground rather, between MMA champ and Vladimir. I do agree with Vladimir that he's a bit of a slapper. You know, just because you're fast, a lot of boxing fans, especially the lesser, I'm not saying anybody here, but I'm saying usually when we look at a guy who's flashy, we tend to think, oh, immediately he's skilled. That doesn't necessarily make it so. He's still, you know, Gary Russell Jr. is a guy who's, yeah.
For example, Ennis, he's like I respect the hell out of Ennis. He has the flair, he has the skill, he has the power. He's just the full damn package, in my opinion. I'm not trying to hype him up, but I mean the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. You know, I would love to say the same about Gary Russell Jr., but he just isn't substance to what they make him out to be.
Let me ask you a serious question. Did Gary sleep with your girl?
Ah, come on.
Man, it sounds like you're trying to be a hitter, and perhaps the show.
Bro. Let's keep it real. Like, come on.
Even Gary Russell's younger brother is a much better fighter. Although he has a horrible hairstyle, I think he's a much better fighter than Gary Russell.
Well, I mean, you know what, man? Hold on a second. Yeah, okay. So you guys are talking about who's overrated, underrated. That's an interesting question. If you are going to place a bet, because I'm looking at the odds here, everything that Gary Russell Jr. is saying is poising himself off for a loss. Now, it could be mind games, although he's never done that before. But I'm looking at the odds here. It says that Gary Russell Jr. is a 3-1 favorite. So let me ask the people on the panel here, would you be willing, considering everything that's going on with Gary Russell Jr. right now, with the weight issues and all that, is this the time to place a substantial sum of money on Magsayo?
I already did.
No kidding.
Me too.
Yeah.
I haven't done it, but I'm really thinking about it.
On the knock.
I know I have a friend. I know a lot of people who are betting their whole entire paychecks that actually Gary Russell will lose by KO tomorrow.
Their welfare check or what?
No, like their whole entire paycheck. Like these guys are people who pull in $1,500 to $2,000 a week.
I'm telling you.
I don't know what they're betting, man, but they're betting everything they about have.
I'm willing to put up 50 food stamps. You know,
I'm gonna bet 10 grams of my best crack. No, really, I mean, listen, my brain is telling me with everything that's going on with Gary Russell Jr., it seems like the time is now to place a bet. But doesn't it seem a little bit too easy? The way he's openly talking about it, the fact that he had trouble making weight. I don't know, something's off here, fellas. Or am I?
Even did you guys see the weigh-in today? He didn't even make eye contact with Magsayo.
Yeah, he looked off at the.
Yeah, he looks defeated.
Maybe he's getting a payoff finally. Maybe like Al Heyman's done with him.
Man. I'm trying to tell you, Gary Russell Jr. is finna win this fight off rip. Like I don't see no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like he pulled, like he did lose to Lomachenko, but after that he been on a winning streak. You know what I'm saying? You can't win them all. You know,
Why not?
and like featherweight we talking about. Gary Russell Jr. is going to win this fight hands down.
Well,
I mean, best of luck to him. But if he looks stupid getting off of the canvas after being knocked spark out, I mean, I can't help him at all.
Yeah, but the guy he's fighting is really limited. But part of me thinks like maybe he's just getting paid off. You know, like Heyman's just kind of done with him because he's probably like a money hole to him.
A money hole? Did you say money hole or money hole?
Like a money hole, like a money pit, you know.
Oh, okay. I thought you said money hole.
Like a 2.5-year-old BMW. You know, it's just not going to work anymore.
If Gary Russell Jr. does win this fight, he's going to have to just move up a weight class. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I'm looking at. Like he should be up there in lightweight. You know.
Well, he's talking about fighting
come on.
Tank Davis.
Gary Russell Jr. has no interest in like participating in the sport or making anyone, you know, a fan of his. He crawls around every like once a year, like a week before his fight. He'll talk a lot of shit about how he's like the most skilled guy in boxing, and he's just like he's like done with the sport. He's been mentally checked out for like 5 years now. You know, I've never seen a fighter like phone it in like him.
Gary Russell Jr. has a lot of talent, fast hands, and skills. But at 33 years old, fighting once a year for the past 5 or 6 years. And by the way, one of you got it right, because I thought he'd fought that Mongolian dude in 2021. No, he fought him in 2020 before the pandemic. So he didn't fight at all in 2020. So it's almost 2 years off. I mean,
that's 1 month shy of 2 years.
Yeah.
Man, that's insane, man. That's insane. Okay, so hey, by the way, let's get Fighter Spirit because he says he can't hear. Fighter Spirit, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. How about you, man? Would you be willing to place a bet on against Gary Russell Jr. because it seems like he's ripe for the taking here?
Honestly, he's fighting a Asian dude, right? I wouldn't bet against the Asian, in my opinion.
What's that supposed to mean?
I feel Asians are good fighters.
And that's it. They're not like if you were Chinese, would you immediately pick him or that has nothing to do with it?
Nah. I'm not biased.
I know you're not. I'm just
this guy's funny, man. Like anything that could be made about race, he just makes it about race.
I'm asking. I'm just trying to get clarified the situation. But Black Chibi, why are you? Yes,
Black Chibi's the racist one.
Okay, let's not get into that now, man. But we'll save that for when we start losing steam in about an hour. But Chibi, let me ask you, why are you so high on Gary Russell Jr.? Because I mean, he's only fought once in the past year. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He's saying he's making excuses coming to the fight. Chibi, he's saying that his father's ill and it's taking the toll on the training. He had to try twice to make weight. He says he's got an injury. Then he's saying that it would actually be better for him to look bad in order to attract the bigger fights. Don't you think, is he setting himself up for failure here or what's going on?
I think that it's more of a thing like, at the end of the day, I think that at the end of the day that he's nervous because he is going against a young lion. So he's already trying to, and we've seen this with a lot of fighters. They sit here, make excuses, this and that, but still win the fight. Like I think Gary Russell Jr. is gonna. I think Gary Russell Jr. is gonna win this fight, not out of not out of just sheer power or anything like that. I think he's gonna win this fight out of experience. You know, if he does lose this fight, then hey, this wouldn't be the first time I was wrong, but. I like Gary Russell Jr.'s fighting style. I like how he's all about the craft, so I really don't see him losing this fight. And it's funny, but what he said about the Asian thing, because I'm not gonna flex. If he was fighting a Cuban, I would have been a little more nervous. I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. That's dead. You feel me? So I understand what you're saying about that.
Let me tell you something that might actually allow you to sleep better tonight. I watched Magsayo's fight against a guy named Hermosillo, who's a southpaw, and Magsayo won that by split decision. Now, he didn't look completely bad. I mean, he did what he was supposed to, but he showed limitations in that fight. And Hermosillo, although he's built differently than Gary Russell Jr., he's taller, longer reach and all that. He's not Gary Russell Jr. He can't move as well as Gary Russell Jr. He doesn't have the quick hands that Russell Jr. So maybe that's what I'm saying. If Magsayo gets hypnotized in there and just looks at Gary Russell Jr. and goes, "Oh, I'm gonna fight at your pace." I think he does get outboxed. So there's hope for yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I think that's going to happen. I think that he's going to just outclass him. Now, does everybody got to punch his chest? Of course, he might end up catching Gary Russell and knocking him out. But like I said, Gary Russell been doing this for a pretty long time, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, he's only making these excuses because he's nervous. He haven't fought in 2 years. We don't know what he looks like he's in pretty good shape, but like I said, Deontay Wilder looked like he was in tremendous shape, man. Look what happened to him. So we don't know for sure, but I still think that Gary Russell wins just out of sheer just outclassing him.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's interesting. Anybody else want to say anything about the Gary Russell Jr. fight before we move on to another subject? No? Okay. Let's move on to the fight on the undercard. Subriel Matthias. This guy, as I mentioned yesterday evening, is a dangerous guy. Very relaxed. He's got like what you would call a deceptive defense. And he's got the type of shots that, unfortunately, as we saw against Dadashev, can actually kill a fighter. He just beats you down round after round. He doesn't knock you out with one shot. And so he's just rattling your brain. Kapakapakapakang. And he's going up against the last guy that beat him, the only guy that beat him. And it was a pretty good fight the last time. So, guys, are you looking forward to this fight? And how do you think this ends up?
I am so fucking stoked for this fight. I watched the first one like so many times. I'd say Ananyan's also like a really smart fighter. I noticed that in their first fight, like Ananyan would do these like things to break up the rhythm of Matthias. He would like hit him kind of low, and then like low motion to the ref, and then like get like a little break there, and then he would always complain if Matthias's hands like cuffed him behind his gloves, and he'd pretend to get hit in the back of the head, and he'd always like make a point of making Matthias like touch hands with him and apologize to kind of break him out of that pressure fighter mentality. And he was getting some good shots in too. I kind of feel like Matthias actually was robbed, even though not like robbed, but I feel like he edged the fight out. Even though he got dropped, I think in the 8th round. But this one also a 10-rounder, BDA?
No, it's a 12-rounder, this one.
Whoa. That's actually good for Matthias, I think. Although,
yeah, definitely.
In the Ananyan fight, he did lose steam a little bit. Like the pace did take its toll on Matthias. Which
I don't know if it was the pace. I think he got hurt, and then I think in the 10th round he started to come back. I think this guy has like multiple wins he can catch. And man, it would be like such a privilege to see him as a 15-round fighter. This guy.
The ref gave him an 8 count, right? In that fight, he was hurt in that way. T1, I think you want to say something. T140, are you there?
Yes. What's up, guys?
What's up, man? Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked to you, man. What's up?
Nothing, man. I want to talk about the PBC, man, and how they're charging this outrageous $75 for this fight, Keith Thurman.
I agree.
Well, go ahead if you want, man.
Guy hasn't fought in 2 years.
Man, PBC my shit, so just chill.
All right. I don't know who he's talking to. Yeah, but I mean, safe to say you're not gonna pay for that fight. Is that what you're saying? That card?
Hell no.
I mean, look, listen. At this point, if people think they're doing it because they think they're gonna get money out of that, it's as Jimmy has said on this show ad nauseum. The PBC doesn't have any money anymore. That's why they're putting these fights on paper. They don't have a network deal, and it's forcing them to put all these fights on pay-per-view. I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen out of this. Are they gonna try to get some funding from elsewhere? Or are they just gonna pack it in? Let's face the fact. It's Al Heyman. He's the one in control of this whole thing. He's the one that refuses to micromanage or to actually delegate power to anybody, rather. So I don't know what he's up to, but I suspect he's made a shitload of money off of this. That's what I think.
I hope it dissolves.
That's his karma for what he did to Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah. I mean, listen. I don't know. I don't know what else we can say about that.
PBC is going to strive at the end of the day. Don't worry. Like,
all right.
PBC is like, honestly, if I had to do my top three, number one, PBC, number two, top rank, then number three, the zone.
Wait, what? Why is PBC number one?
Because he's
Man, I don't know, man. Every time I watch
Yeah, the zone's not a promotional company.
It's an app.
I'm talking about the networks.
PBC is not a network. Neither is top rank.
Network.
I can share everybody else know what I meant, bro. I'd rather see PBC boxers because every time I watch PBC, bro, like I don't know, man. I just feel like they be just fighting harder. Like, big upset.
PBC's overrated, yo. To be honest.
Their roster's shaky, man.
Yeah.
They don't have a prospect.
Tank, Charlo, all of them are overrated. Like I don't know why they're in the conversation, really.
Well, first off, Tank's not overrated. I think Tank's doing a great job with his career. Charlo, I love the Charlo brothers. I mean, yeah, he had a bad performance. Jamal Charlo had a bad performance his last fight, but we all see fighters have bad performances.
He's had several bad performances, man. He was losing the Harrison fight before he came back and stopped Harrison.
He lost to Cruz. He lost to Isak Cruz.
Bro, he did not lose that fight.
He did lose to Isak Cruz. Chibi, did Triple G lose the first Canelo fight?
Bro, Triple G won the first Canelo fight.
Exactly. But you're saying that Cruz didn't win the Tank fight?
No.
You see how it's double standards, Chibi? It's because you just don't want to accept the fact that a Mexican is the best boxer. That's all.
Listen, how am I doing double standards? Matter of fact, fun fact, the Triple G versus Canelo fight number one. At that time, I was a fan of Canelo, one of the biggest fanboys.
Canelo won both the fights.
He did not. Yeah, he won the fights on paper, but in all reality, we know who really won both of those fights.
Look, he didn't win the first fight on paper, but does no one else have any thoughts on the Matthias fight though? I thought BDA teed this up real well.
No, we moved on from that, man. Now it's between Black Chibi and Fighter Spirit. Let him go on, man.
Black Chibi's a racist motherfucker who hates fucking Mexicans, who owes money to my fucking friend.
What you want me to say? What you want me to say? My best friend Mexican? That's what you want me to say? Bro, listen, I'm not racist.
You racist, bro. You're bro. That's who you are, bro.
Bro, all right, I'm not racist. You want to know why? Because my favorite Mexican fighter right now is David Benavidez. I think he's fucking amazing. I think he's a whole problem out here.
Man. He ain't Mexican, you fucking racist motherfucker.
Yes, he is. He's Mexican. He's Mexican, and he's mixed, but he's still Mexican.
Ecuadorian, I think.
Yeah, Ecuadorian. One thing y'all not gonna do is call me racist. I'm not racist at all. I think the whole. That's all I'm saying.
Isaac Cruz versus your Mexican friends. You're racist to me, bro.
You know what? This is the old you're racist, and then Chibi, even you said it. You said it. He's trying to get you to say my best friend's Mexican. That's what these people that accuse LT, is that what you're trying to do here? You're trying to make him squirm and get him to admit, no, I listen to Vicente Fernandez and I eat tacos and all that shit. Is that what you're trying to do here?
Nah, bro, like let's listen to all his conversations, bro. To him, all Mexicans lose.
Let's face it, bro. This is the regular
no Canelo. They're white. Look at this motherfucker. Don't even let him talk. You see this fucking racist motherfucker doesn't lead a real Mexican talk, bro. You fucking believe this fucking racist motherfucker? He won't even let me talk. He had fucking years to talk, bro. As soon as I jump,
yo, LT.
Ladies.
LT, I just want you to know I took an avocado earlier and I grilled it.
Oh,
bro, that's what's up, bro. You should put some fucking bacon around it and eat it. You'll fucking taste badass. Anyways, bro. Listen, Black people, you're racist, bro. We all know you're racist. You talk shit about Mexicans. You don't like any fucking Mexican, bro. To you, all Mexicans lose. They're all flat-footed fighters. You bet against Mexicans, yet you won't pay the fucking bet. Like, you're just a straight up Mexican hater, bro. You're racist against Mexicans, bro. Let's own up to that shit. At least admit to that shit, bro. The last time you ate a taco was when you were on your mama's belly, bro, because you won't eat that shit either.
Hey,
Wait a
T1,
minute.
get out your feelings, man. Get out your feelings, bro.
I'm not racist. Like I said, I used to love Canelo Alvarez until he failed that drug test and started cherry picking in my mind. That's how I look at him. So I think he's a bitch boy. I personally like Jose Benavidez, my favorite Mexican fighter.
You were going off about like Caleb Plant or some shit. Now he's cherry picking. You said Cherry Plant has a good chance of beating Canelo. I remember this shit.
Listen, I was wrong in that shit. I was wrong. I thought that Caleb Plant was gonna beat him. I really did. I thought that he had tried to cherry pick.
You just said he's cherry picking now. Like you just admitted that you thought Caleb Plant was gonna beat him, and then you literally just accused Canelo of cherry picking. Like those two can't be the same.
Hold on. Listen, hold on. No. One thing you're not gonna do, you're not gonna make it seem like I'm just I said even in that argument, we can go back in that argument. I literally said I feel like Canelo is cherry picking and he cherry picked the wrong person. I said that it was gonna be a whole.
How can he cherry pick the wrong person? That makes no sense.
Hank's not cherry picking though.
Bro, I said it's gonna be just like the whole thing with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. He tried to cherry pick Tyson Fury. You feel me? And didn't know that he really bumping like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I thought it was going to be the same thing. Like I said, bro, I'm not racist at all, bro. And I just don't like Canelo. Like, why can't I just not like a fighter? Like,
I never accused you of racism. I was really just pointing out that like you can't because you were really harping on Caleb Plant.
I'm not a racist. That's what
I'm saying he's cherry picking.
Man, listen, Caleb Plant had the skills and everything to win that fight. But like I said, he just couldn't do it. He couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, but then that's not a cherry pick by Canelo. That's like a legitimate win, right? Like,
all right, then tell me this then. So you don't think it's mad sus that as soon as David Benavidez lost that fight, he just jumped up to that weight class instead of just making 160 unification?
No, I honestly don't think Canelo's thinking about David Benavidez when he plans his moves. Like, I really don't think that's in his calculus at all.
Still to this day, it's undefeated. Why the fuck would you say as soon as he lost that fight? What fight, motherfucker? He hasn't lost a fight. He just lost he lost the belt on the fucking.
He didn't say the fight though. So
all right, cool.
Hold on. Can I interject here? Can I interject real quick? Shout out to Omar E for his contribution with the super chat. Says, I'm not racist. My shadow is black. All right. Shout out to Omar E for his contribution. Listen, I can speak from both sides here because I'm Mexican, and just because I don't dick ride Canelo or any other Mexican, I get called a malinchista. Now, some people say it in jest, but that's the way it seems to work around here in these YouTube streets, as they call them. Hey, if you don't listen, we're not in jail here, fellas. We're not in prison. You're not supposed to stick to your race because that's the way it's always been. We're living in a free society, democracy over here. You can root for whoever you want. Well, for now, yeah, that's true. But the point is,
Mexico!
I've said it before. I root for the guy that's not an asshole. All right? I don't care if the guy's talented, skilled. If he's an asshole and I wouldn't want to befriend him, or if he would throw me under the bus in a real society, or if we were living in the same society, same street, I'm not going to root for the fella. But that doesn't make it so that Canelo Alvarez isn't a good fighter. He's a good fighter. You know my position on Canelo. I don't like the fact that he's the A-lister and he uses his A-list privileges, but at the same time... What's that?
Who were you rooting for, Canelo or Plant? Who were you rooting for? Because you said you don't like assholes.
Right. Oh, that's the thing. That's why I enjoyed that fight, because it was two assholes and it relieved the pressure of having to root for anyone. I was just like, yeah, let them fight each other. The best asshole wins.
Was a bigger asshole, man.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. BDA, I'm not gonna lie, bro. You don't seem racist, but you seem kind of sus. Like, everyone likes assholes, especially when you're like popping from behind and you see that little pink asshole, bro. You know, you just want to put your thumb in it. You know what I mean, BDA?
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
That's just fucking toxic. I've been trying to say this shit for years. Bro, y'all toxic as shit. But why he just say he just personally don't like him? Now he's saying, no, I'm not saying you're racist, but you mad sus. Bro, the proof is in the pudding. Like, what else do we need? He's showing us what the Canelo fan base is.
Chibi, I don't think you're racist, but here's the thing. You had planned winning that fight against Canelo, right? So
yes, I did.
He was outclassed. Now you're saying that Andrade, I believe you're saying Andrade is like the boogeyman. He's avoided by everybody. Like, so I don't know, man. I'm kind of questioning your assessment of skills.
I just want to chime in real quick.
When I be posting those things in the chat, like I'm honestly just trolling. Like, you feel me? Because I know that shit is gonna like piss off niggas like LT. Like, bro, like, you feel me?
No, okay, but Chibi, seriously, okay, I understand you're trolling sometimes, but what are your real thoughts about Andrade?
I think Andrade is a great fighter. I think that I think Jimmy said it the best though, because he does talk a lot of shit, but he haven't. But there's no proof that he sent any of these contracts out, so I can't really say much about it doing the business wise. But when I think
evil,
about
Black TV, you're evil. You're evil. For real, you're evil.
Hold on, but when I think about his style, I think that the reason why people don't want to fight him because his style is so unorthodox, and he's just out there swinging, and somebody can get catch with one of those, and that's why people like Charlo, Canelo, don't want to fight him, because it's too. Like, the last thing you want to do is get in there with somebody who swing like Emmanuel Gustafson, so that's what I think of him.
Bro, first of all, bro, Andre, bro, never heard that motherfucker in my life, bro. Never. That motherfucker can't even sell in this whole fucking state, bro. In this whole fucking city, bro. It's laughable, bro. That motherfucker. Who the fuck is that motherfucker?
Hey, he's very popular up there in Rhode Island or whatever.
Well, listen, I mean, but LT, you didn't really make a good argument when you said Andrade. You say I'd never heard of him. So why? Because you never heard of him, that means he's not good? I mean, let's face the facts. Andrade. By the way, we have to stop calling him Andrade. I think he insists on being called Andrade. But if he listen, I mean, I don't know where to draw the line. If he starts telling us that he wants to be identified as something else, then it might get a little weird. But the point is, Andrade is a good fighter. Would I like to see him fight Canelo? Hey, it wouldn't be the worst fight. But at the same time, like the thing that irks me is when people go, well, he's the boogeyman. Canelo's scared. I think Canelo doesn't want to fight him because he's got bigger options and perhaps more dangerous fighters out there than Andrade. Andrade is, I mean,
why
you can't.
Charlo fighting him then?
Well, that's the thing, and you can't claim to be the boogeyman and then struggle. You can't claim to be the boogeyman and then struggle against Colkay and Liam Williams. That's just not the way it
and
works.
Not just them. Like, he went like life and death with Martin Rosen.
Yeah. Bro, not to mention, bro, Andrade has always had like hand-me-down belts. You know when you have brothers and sisters and like you start growing up, like you give your clothes to your younger siblings. Now here you go, your time to wear it. Well, that's what's happening. That's what happened with fucking Andrade. He's always been getting hand-me-down belts. Never fought a champion in his life. Never.
You wore my clothes, Nico.
None of the
champions want to
stop Andrade. Mexican people kick in and he'll stop him.
Who's going to stop Andrade? I didn't hear that.
Canelo going to stop Andrade. The Mexican beef will kick in about the 6th round and he'll stop him.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why...
Andrade is chinny. He can't take a hit.
Andrade needs to get himself that Panamanian meat. Or where's he from? Like, he's half black, half Panamanian? Or where is he again? Is he Colombian or something?
No, he is some Panamanian, I think.
Well, there you go. Get Roberto Duran in there, man. Try to get him his chin.
Well, I don't get this thing that Canelo should have stayed at 160 because, okay, I would have liked...
Yo, Duran would cut all his hair off, bro.
I think
Duran would make it...
because he's just too strong now. He's moving up in weight, up and down in the weight. I think he's just too strong for these guys now.
But hold on.
Yeah,
Bucho was going to make...
Some people complain. Yeah, no, some people complain about, Canelo shouldn't have moved up to 168. But I'm like, who was there at 160 to be... Besides Golovkin? I don't think. What did you really want to see that Canelo Andrade fight, whatever he wants to call himself, or the Charlo fight? That was never gonna happen. So,
I was looking at it like this. I was looking at it like this, man.
I feel like the third Golovkin fight was still better than anything Canelo has done. Since like everyone he's fought since Golovkin, which is a rematch.
But
agree with
that
that.
should have happened immediately, though.
But I think he'll beat Triple G now. I think he would beat him now.
Now, but the question would have been very like unclear 6 months after the second fight.
Hey, real quick, what's his name? T1. I can hear the conversation in the background. Like, please turn your speakers off, man, because I hear feedback there.
I think it's UK Tom.
Yeah, UK Tom, please mute your speakers, man, because we can hear you in the background there. UK Tom, can you hear us? I'm gonna have to mute him. Oh, somebody already did. Yeah, but okay, so shout out to Kenshiro for his contribution to the super chat. It says Andrade is a nobody because he has beaten nobody. Well, see that I disagree with the whole, but thanks again, Kenshiro, for your contribution. I wouldn't say nobodies. I mean, he did beat Kolke. He did beat what's his name? Sulensky. He did beat Liam Williams, although he did look bad doing it. So he's winning, and at the end of the day, that's 75% of it. The other percent is looking good while you're doing it to get the fights you want. But to say that he's yeah.
I heard he fucking turned down a lot of fight, bro.
Yeah, he pulled out of a Lara fight,
that would have been
a Charlo fight, and
thing,
a
bro.
Vincenko fight.
I think he turned down the Jamal Charlo fight a few years back. Not when he was with Eddie Hearn. I think when he was with Rock Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I heard that too, but I thought it was with Jermel, not Jamal.
Yeah, it was with Jermel, yeah.
Well, Joker in the chat room says Andrade and Jermall will vacate to avoid a loss to Janibek and Falcao. They will move up to face Canelo just for the possibility of a big payday. Well, that's the other thing is, let's face the facts. Andrade is 33 or 34, I think. Can you believe that? And Charlo's 31. Now, look at what Canelo's at. He's 31. Look at everything he's done. Charlo is with the PBC. Now, supposedly they say, some people say the PBC is the best. You know, they want stall fights because they'll do the right thing for their fighters. Why haven't they done right by Jermall Charlo? 31 years old, and his best win so far was his two best wins: Julian Williams in 2016 and David Achenko in 2020. I mean, what's going on here? His career has been stalled down the drain, or into the drain, rather.
It's just what happens with these like really ironclad like promotional entities. Like they refuse to do business. Like the same thing happened in Inoue when he signed with Top Rank. He's like fought absolutely nobody. Like you just pick the wrong promoter and at the wrong time. If he doesn't happen to have anyone at your weight class to give you exposure, you're just put on the shelf.
I mean, are these guys, is Andrade and Charlo at the end of their careers just going to go, well, I never got the big fight because I was too good? Is that going to be the narrative we're going to be hearing after the retirement?
No, we're not going to hear anything about them because no one's going to remember them.
And I'm just prognosticating this. I think the best what their route is going to go. I think Andrade is going to realize that that Canelo fight is not going to happen, and he's going to jump to 168 and fight David Benavidez. And that's just. And then I don't know if it's true or not. It's just a prognostication.
I mean,
he got a good fight by Andrade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
BDA, can I say something? If one of you guys allow me to talk, can I say something?
Absolutely, yeah.
I hear everybody talking about Charlo and all these people. We all know Canelo's the face of boxing. We all know they all want a paycheck and all that. To me, it's just like I seen the way I found your channel, BDA. I found your channel through the Ultimate Proof compilation. You know, videos talking about the Deontay Wilder's and all that. And I just want to know why we can't just be honest and like speak it right now. You know why?
Man, I'll tell you. All right, my personal opinion. I think the reason Canelo is the face of boxing right now, you know what I'm saying? But I think that's the thing that he's just I feel like he's doing the same thing Errol Spence is doing. I feel like he's taking the easy route. You know, like just saying, okay, well, because if these fighters were so easy, you know, like Charlo and Demetrius Andrade was so easy. Why didn't he just unify in that weight class? You know, that's my only question. And then he'll say, and then when somebody asks him that, he said,
"No,
it's the promoters and this."
Chibi, you cut me off. Let me finish my point real quick. Thank you for reminding me. I was talking about Andrade. Yeah, Andrade shouldn't even be in the conversation, but he only, how do I say, he's only relevant because he crashed Canelo's press conference, right? And when Canelo stood up to himself, what did people call him? Well, Canelo, racist and all that, right? And it's just affirmative action. And I feel like people who support Black Lives Matter shouldn't even be on the stream. They should get kicked out immediately. You know, because I'm sick and tired of these people.
Andrade is relevant because he has a major world title. That's why he's relevant.
No,
he's
not relevant because
I'm just curious. So, what does the Black Lives Matter movement got to do with this right now?
Because when Andrade broke in Canelo's press conference, Canelo stood up to him, said, "Get the fuck out of here." You know what I'm saying? You're a horrible fighter. All type of people started calling Canelo and his fan base racist simply for speaking up to, defending himself, and I don't like that type of energy, that attitude. It really needs to stop.
Honestly, like as far as most major sports
This
go,
is what happened in that press conference. He asked him. He said, you didn't fight with nobody. Why would I fight you? So then that's when Demetrius Andrade said, well then who did Bernie Sanders fight then? Like who did he fight? And then that's when he got mad and said, get the fuck out of here. And that's what I saw. It wasn't no thing about racism or anything.
The same thing can be said of Charlo.
Chibi, no. I understand, Chibi. I understand that you're hyped up right now because of Black Lives Matter, but that's not how it works.
Okay, well, you stop bringing up like
What about
stop bringing up like
Hey man, let me just say something real quick. There's been a lot of racism going on, and I just want to make sure everyone knows Black Lives Matter. Shout out to BLM. BDA does support BLM.
I mean, I don't know what that has to do with boxing, but
don't you also support like the what is it, the Jewish Christians or whatever, PDA? The Jewish Christians in the world or something.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. This whole thing that you're talking about is just hilarious to me. It don't get under my skin or anything. And you can say F Black Lives Matter, this and that. You could even say it in my face. That's your personal opinion, and I don't care. Like so, like you're not getting under my skin doing this. But yo, just keep it on though, champ. Go ahead. What else you got to say?
I wasn't trying to get under your skin. I was just saying the truth. I feel like the reason Terrence Crawford is even making that lawsuit, that disgrace Terrence Crawford, who apparently he thinks that he's special or something. The only reason he's making that lawsuit is because he sees what Black Lives Matter is doing and all that. So he's like, I'm gonna just race hustle and manipulate. That's and a lot of people do that, and it's sickening. At this point, it needs to be stopped. And that's the same reason Andrade feels like he can cut into a press conference and just get his way. And if he doesn't, it's this, it's that, right?
I honestly think that was the best move that Demetrius Andrade ever made. That's what people should do back in the days.
The reason Andre crashed that. Yo, Chibi, one sec. Like the reason Andre crashed that press conference is because Canelo just beat the WBO super middleweight champ.
Yes,
and he's a WBO middleweight champ, which would make him his mandatory if he moved up. So that makes sense to crash then, right?
No, it doesn't.
And it does because Billy Joe Saunders was supposed to fight Andrade. And then he got texted for Australia.
They sent Andrade a contract and they turned it down. They sent Andrade a contract and they turned it down.
I've never heard that.
It's on ESPN was the proof. On ESPN, IBFP made a video about it. He showed on ESPN that Oscar De La Hoya sent the contract to them, but they denied it. What do you mean stop watching IBFP? So now Canelo's ducking.
IBFP is not a news source. He doesn't break news.
He showed the proof from ESPN. That was his source.
Well, there's all kind of reporters from ESPN that get things wrong all the time with all kinds of sports. There's reporters from ESPN right now who are Aaron Rodgers is going to get traded by next season. Like, dude, they get these things wrong all the time.
No, they didn't. You're just a racist. Boo boo steroids. Let me make my point. Boo boo steroid user Victor Conte is his guru. Andrade got dropped before. Who has he fought to make you think Canelo's scared of him? Like, what? Why would he be scared of him? Now you're saying that it's a lie. They didn't offer him a fight. It's a lie.
Never said Canelo was scared of him.
Who is he? Like, what? People need to relax.
Who are you to say that a two-time world champion is a nobody?
Oh,
actually, it's a two-time world champion without fighting a champion.
Okay, let me ask you this about your since you're a Canelo fanboy. So let me ask you this: did you really want this fight, him versus Okuda Matata? Do you really wanted that? That's what you was looking for.
It hasn't even happened yet. None of the fights happened, but he sure has everybody talking like the face of boxing, right? Without Canelo, there wouldn't be no boxing. So just appreciate it.
What you talking about, bro? Canelo, bro. Nobody gives a shit about Canelo like that, bro. Nobody, only you. Nobody never even thought about it. Even if Canelo sat here and left and said he's retired, it'll still go on. But
Chibi, listen.
Hey, I'm Canelo. He's a good fighter. I never said he's a duck or anything like that. I never said that. I'm just saying, and I never even said whether he deserves the Andre fight or not. But what I'm saying is, who are you, as a person who has never boxed before, to say a 2-division world champion is a nobody?
What do you mean?
His resume isn't the best.
What do you mean? I've never...
Someone please step up and fight him. I'm not saying that's
bro. I'm here, bro. No fucking background.
I got a question for the group.
So what the fuck you saying, homie?
Bro, who the fuck is Andre?
What do you mean? What do you mean I've never boxed before? Who said that?
Yeah, who said that? Yeah, that's interesting.
How much do
The
you
other
weigh?
guy said that.
Well,
How much do you weigh?
I'm pretty sure people know Andre more than you.
How much do you weigh? Who said that?
But you're not gonna do nothing, bro. As far as how much you weigh and all that.
Hey, Fighter Spirit's got Hey, hold on. Fighter Spirit's got something to prove. So, Geek, you called him out, man. He wants to call you out to a fight, man. What's going on here?
Weigh, Geek?
It doesn't matter how much I weigh. It doesn't matter how much I weigh. We can spar anytime. What state are you in?
It does matter. It does matter because I don't want to hurt you, kid.
What state are you in? What state are you in? Because I really box in real life, bro. And what state are you in?
Hey, Geek, don't talk over me. Let me talk and I'll tell you. I'm in California.
All right, where in California?
I'm in Victorville, California.
Oh.
I'm in Oakland.
All right, we'll set it up, buddy.
Hey, buddy, I'll send you to see your ancestors.
I already added you on this, bro. So I already added you on this, so we can set that up.
You can make a real belt for this. BDA belt.
Black Chibi said that I've never boxed in my life. All right, where are you from, Black Chibi? All right, you want to box me? Is that the thing? You want to set it up, Black Chibi?
Let me tell you something. You know what hand stands for? Can't do any nigga disrespect this shit, bro. You come out here to Florida, bro. I'll put the hand.
All right, you see?
Guys, listen up.
All right. T1, go ahead. T1.
Hey, just because I never.
Come on, hold on. Let T1 talk. He wants to. He might be the voice of reason in all of this. Go ahead, T1.
I got a question for the group. Do you guys honestly think that Earl Spence could lose to Ugas?
Wait a minute. Let's get back to the. Hold on.
Yes.
Ugas is underrated, bro. I think he could beat him.
Ugas gonna beat the hell out of that boy.
Yeah, right. And Black Chibi.
I'm really worried about Spence, man. I'm really worried about him in this fight.
Hey, speaking, you just reminded me of something, and it's related to the Spence Ugas thing, because there's the news here. It's saying that supposedly this year Ennis might just get a title shot. He's gonna fight somebody. They're gonna set him up down the line for one of the eliminators, the IBF. They're saying. So I'm looking here at, and if you guys can look at I can't share the screen right now, but if you look at the screen on YouTube, I'm putting up the rankings. Errol Spence is the IBF champ apparently. Number 1 and number 2 spot. The number 1 and number 2 spots are vacant. Number 3 Ennis. Number 4 Ortiz Jr. Number 5 Cusio Clayton. Number 6 Connor Ben. And then it just goes down the line from there. So we could be seeing, I'm thinking they're going to put him in there against Clayton. So if Ennis wins, if Ennis wins, he gets himself a title here, maybe a little leverage. Isn't it funny, guys, how Jaron Ennis is actually very similar to Terence Crawford? They're both lanky, tall, hand speed, power, and they're both switch hitters. When's the last time we saw two guys like that in the same division? Like they're almost the symbol, you know, the reflection of each other.
Ennis will be champ by the beginning of next year, and then he'll spank Crawford and send Crawford into retirement.
Oh,
yo, you're right, BDA. I was actually just watching like Terry Norris versus Meldrick Taylor, and I was thinking that the same thing. Like, holy shit, two guys who are like mirror images of each other. Yeah, I never thought about Crawford and it's like that.
But he's not tall though. He's like 5'8". He's lanky, but he's not tall.
Oh, I thought he was 5'9", Gonzalo. Yeah.
Ennis?
No, he's not. Ennis is 5'10".
Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford.
Oh yeah, Crawford is 5'8".
Yeah, but I think he has a long wingspan.
Yeah, he has like a 74-inch reach. That's crazy for someone that's 5'8".
Ennis is the 6'2".
It's fucking crazy.
Ennis is the bigger, naturally bigger guy.
Well, that's the thing, though.
Crawford deadlift, bro.
How many
good ratios?
You guys think we'll see Virgil versus Ennis at some point? Some point soon?
I hope we do.
That's a real good. That's you right there.
Y'all know how boxing is and these politics go. I don't know.
Yo, what about Virgil versus Xander Zayas? Like a 154.
Oh,
that makes me excited.
Maybe down the line, man.
Work together.
Xander's not even 20 yet, is he?
And then another fight I can't wait for is the Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson. I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, let's go back to that in a couple of minutes. But before we do that, shout out to Get These Hands for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "Oh boy," he says, "I'm curious. Is it fighting spirit or fighting girl? Fighter spirit. Why are so many people calling you out, man? So it seems like everyone wants that smoke from you, as they say."
Hey, Jesus got crucified, right? If Jesus gets crucified, who am I to complain, right?
Well, Jesus complained too about that.
Yeah, he did have a small complaint when he said, "Father, why have you forsaken me?" So, or something akin to those words.
Yeah,
so.
but if Oscar Valdez does beat Shakur Stevenson, what are they gonna say? They're gonna make excuses and blame him on this. It's nothing new.
Yeah, but we all know that's not going to happen.
Oh.
Yeah, you said Plan was gonna beat Canelo, Chibi. You said Plan was gonna beat Canelo, so you're just a squirrel in a man's world, Chibi.
I think that fight is going to look like Mayweather Corrales. I feel.
You think Stevenson has that type of power?
You said who? Shakur?
I think Shakur is just gonna outclass him.
I think it's gonna be a stoppage by round 8. They're gonna just be like, just stop the fight.
We're all hyped up for a one-sided fight. Then that's kind of weird.
I think it's gonna be 8-4 in Shakur.
No one's giving Valdez any chance. Everyone.
Bro, and here it goes again, bro. Black Sheepy showing his fucking race card, bro. Going against
why am I racist?
fighter because he is a racist motherfucker. Doesn't like Mexicans, bro.
LT, you gotta be real, bro.
Shakur Stevenson,
never rooted either.
He's so scary. He's a knockout artist. He's
You want to get
Yes, many
anytime, anywhere, bitch.
All right, hold on a second. One at a time here. One at a time. Hold on. One at a time. One at a time.
Just because I'm going with Shakur Stevenson to win this fight by a blowout, I'm racist.
Yo, fighting spirit, you're hilarious, man.
But hold on, yeah, no, hey, LT, he asked a good question.
What do you mean by blowout? Like, give him a blowjob, bro? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Stop watching gay porn. This fucking boxing, you fucking faggot.
Okay, wait. You can't say, LT. You gotta take it easy, man. First of all.
All right, LT. Let me ask you this, then, LT. So who you think gonna win this fight, LT? Who you going for?
LT, he has your.
So wait, speaking of a couple of faggots, what about?
Hold on, LT. He has your question. Hold on, fellas. LT, he has your question. Go ahead.
Valdez is gonna fucking win, bro. Point blank, period.
Oh, bro, that makes you.
What?
Yeah, he's asking, why are you picking? He's saying you're picking the Mexican, though. So he's saying the same thing you said to him, that you're racist. You're biased for Mexicans.
No, bro, I picked black fighters to win before, but this Black Sheepy dude picks everything over a Mexican, bro. If he has a fucking Cambodian, he's gonna choose the Cambodian to beat the Mexican. If there's a Chinese dude, he's gonna pick the Chinese dude to beat the Mexican. Like, I have heard Sheepy talking and shit. Whatever the fuck you call it, this motherfucker's racist, point blank fucking period, bro.
All right, okay.
It's a big accusation.
LT, who do you think wants to build the wall? That's CB and his family and them.
Exactly, bro. It's fucking CBA, bro. This fucking racist black dude, bro.
All right. But hold on. Let me say this. Let me ask LT. Let me ask you this. You're saying Valdez is going to win the fight, which, it's your right to believe.
Mexican businesses, bro. From families, bro.
LT. This ain't the second renaissance. LT. Please, man. I gotta ask you, can you break it down for us? Because maybe we're missing something. Most of the people are picking Shakur Stevenson, but maybe we're missing something. I wouldn't put it past us. What do you see that makes you think Valdez is gonna beat Shakur Stevenson?
Oh, bro, this is fucking easy, bro. Shakur's never been on a fucking fight before in his life. He's always allowed to fucking get off the ropes and shit like a little bitch. Like a little bitch, bro. He's never been in a real fucking fight ever in his fucking life. Oh, wow, we knew fucking Shakur could fucking box, but has he ever been in a fucking fight before? No one has gone in through his fucking chest and just wailed on that motherfucker, that fucking thin motherfucker.
They don't like Mexicans.
Bro. He's a fucking woman. He hits women, bro. That's who the fuck he is. He hits women.
They don't like Mexicans.
He hits women on the fucking back and then gets on the ring and acts like a bitch. Acts like a bitch, motherfuckers. First of all, bro, that kid doesn't have any fucking power, bro. Not even when he was fighting bumps, he could have fucking got him out the fucking ring. He's 23. He has already had problems like a little bitch. You know who's the little bitch? Floyd Mayweather, and they both hit women. Here we go. That's what they are, little fucking bitches running around crying like bitches because they didn't get the fucking win on the Olympics.
Yo,
can I just ask LT? Can I just ask LT something? LT, are you in an apartment or are you in a home? Because I can't imagine your fucking neighbors listening to you screaming like a maniac. And imagine they ask you, yeah, where are you right now, LT?
I'm in the kitchen. I'm enjoying the tacos.
All right. Hey, let me read a couple of super chats and then.
Did slip this guy some of his tea or something?
I do want to ask LT one more question. So curious question. So do you think that Oscar Valdez won that last fight against the Brazilian?
He fucking did the last fight. Why do you think he still has the fucking belt? You dumb motherfucker. Where the fuck are you, bro? Let's fucking fight. Me and you anywhere in the fucking time, faggot.
All right, stop saying the F word, man. Please stop saying the F word, guys. Otherwise, we're gonna have to shut this whole thing down. It's YouTube. It's not me. It's YouTube. All right. Number two.
Multiple.
Yeah, multiple times. I mean, we're saying, but they're saying the F word in like in England. You know, they talk about smokes. But yeah, listen. The whole.
A couple of F words.
But hold on. Black Chibi. Black Chibi asked LT a good point. Do you think Valdez deserved the win against Magsayo? LT?
Oh, yes. Of course he fucking deserved that win, bro. Fuck, bro. What's his fight? Who the fuck was this Brazilian dude thinking he could fucking jump in the ring and win a fucking belt without fucking having no fucking fans at all, bro? What do you think this is? Like, oh yeah, you better be good at boxing or you get the belt? No, bro, this is prize fucking fighting. If you have the fucking fans, give the fucking belt.
Lara beat Canelo if you ask them, but Triple G beat Canelo.
Right? Exactly, bro.
They pick and choose when they want to box, and they just don't want to see a Mexican on top. That's all it is.
Exactly, bro. Thank you, Fighting Spirit. Thank you.
All right, so you two are throwing out accusations against Chibi, saying he's racist. I mean, I gotta tell you, I don't like it when anybody does it, lest they have any proof. Be that as it may, but Black Chibi, go ahead. If you want to respond, man.
No, I'm just saying, like, I was just listening, and it's just, I'm laughing so hard right now. Because first off, I think if anything, I thought that Laura did win that fight, but if anything, I think they should have, because Canelo was the A side, I would have respected a draw. And with the Triple G fight, bro, especially the first fight, we know for a fact that Canelo lost that. Now with the Oscar, you said earlier, LT, that Shakur Stevenson didn't fight anybody. You never thought that maybe that his skills are so superb that maybe he just made it look like he didn't fight anybody, and like you don't think that maybe that's what it is?
Bro, let me tell you, bro. He didn't fight somebody. He did fight somebody, and there were two fucking bitches in front of a fucking corner market. All right, that's what he fucking fought. He fucking sucker punched one of the bitches, and then kicked the motherfucker while he was down, bro. What kind of fucking faggot does that?
Oh,
Only a
come on,
motherfucker
man.
that cries
Hey,
the Olympics.
Stop saying
All
the
right,
F word.
my last question. My last question to you, LT. I have one more question, LT. Do you think that he deserves to fight against that Brazilian after he tested positive for steroids?
He didn't test positive for steroids.
I mean, let's never tested positive for steroids. All right, never in his fucking life. Whatever
Oscar
the
Valdez did test positive.
whatever the it's not a fucking steroid. All right,
That's my question. You didn't think that maybe he should have been? You don't think maybe he should have been suspended for 6 months for testing positive for PEDs or whatever you want?
Hey, bro, how about fucking Shakur is with the biggest fucking cheat ever? Fucking Victor Conte named fucking Snack. Like, what the fuck is that shit, huh? Like, what the fuck is that shit? You don't think they're not fucking cheating?
Listen, this is prize fighting, all right? These guys, let them take steroids. And at the end of their career, when they're done, you just turn them in a glue and throw them away, all right?
Oh, shit.
At the end of the day, the only point that I'm trying to prove, all right, boxing is the most dangerous sport out here. People die more than boxing than in any sport. And I don't believe that anybody, and that goes for black fighters, white fighters, Spanish fighters, any type of race should be taking steroids, and then, you feel me, ending up killing somebody.
That's
so
an interesting
I'm just
point.
asking a legitimate question. Do you think that he deserves to fight after he tested positive?
It wasn't steroids, GB. It wasn't just because he's from the Canelo team. And
people
are gonna hate.
All right, you got fighter spirit. Now you got fighter spirit transforming. Hey, hold on, guys. You gotta take it easy because fighter spirit is transforming now. So we gotta let him cool off so he returns back to his normal form.
Wasn't steroids. They made it up to tarnish the name of Canelo. They just can't to see a Mexican on top. Why do you think they're pushing Jake Paul so much?
All right. Hold on. Now we're getting into a whole other thing. But hold on, fellas. Let me read a couple of super chats here. Hold on. Let me read a couple of super chats here. Then we'll get back to the whatever we got going here. Get These Hands. Shout out to Get These Hands. Is actually after the last Valdez fight where he went life and dead with his mandatory. I gave Shakur a hell of a chance, 100%. All right, shout out to Get These Hands for his contribution. Shout out to Ryder Storm for his contribution. He says, embarrassed that LT is Mexican. Hondureños, please adopt him. Oh, come on. Now, wait a minute. See, now that's...
BDA, you didn't see that video of Masvidal supposedly getting into with a little white kid?
Hold on, please. Let me finish because I still got to read. There's two more. Just give me a chance. Two more. Shout out to Joker for his contribution with the super chat. Says, Canelo is the greatest, the face of boxing. All right, shout out to Joker for that contribution. And shout out to TJ for his contribution to Super Chat. No message. Nevertheless, shout out to TJ. Thank you guys for contributing. And don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Really helps us out. If you enjoy the content, you enjoy the mayhem, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. All right, fellas, really appreciate it. Hit the like. All right, so sorry,
BDA.
but yes.
Apparently, Jaron Ennis is set for an IBF final eliminator in March or April. What do you think?
I mentioned that. Yeah, we were talking about that, and then somehow we ended up talking about Canelo.
Bro.
Because Fighting Spirit 47 is here.
Hey, what do you guys think of Jaron Ennis?
I think he's the future.
Best fighter in the world.
I think Jaron Ennis has a very good future in boxing.
I don't think he's ready for Terence Crawford yet. I think a few more fights, a few more times training in the gym and whatnot. And I think that him versus Terence Crawford will make a fantastic fight. Right now, I think that because Terence Crawford do have the experience with all the people he fought, that it would class him. So just give Jaron Ennis maybe a year or two. And then let them fight, and I think it'll be a fantastic fight.
I think Crawford's gonna be old. Yeah, Crawford beats
everybody right now.
One at a time. All right, let me ask. Can I ask Rare Breed? Because I know Rare Breed. I know you're big on Jaron Ennis. In fact, I think you have him as your avatar. So you're saying the sky's the limit? You're saying the sky's the limit for him, right? Could you maybe just elaborate a little bit why you're so high on him?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So basically, when you get a guy with all the natural skills, I'm talking about like athleticism, power, and speed, and then you add skills to that, you get Jaron Ennis. He's like, when you create a character in a video game, That's boots. And you put almost everything at 99. That's boots. On top of that, you get the intangibles to go with it: work ethic. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like
he has
the
a
IQ
family
and-
bloodline of fighters.
Right.
He has everything you need to be a great fighter. He's a can't miss prospect. Or
I don't
Can I
know.
ask you something,
I mean, Ennis has skills, but until he goes up against a full-fledged welterweight, I don't think I'm still sold on Jaron Ennis. He's been fighting blown up lightweights.
Yeah, I understand, but when we first saw Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones, or even Lomachenko, you could tell those guys were different from day one. You don't really those special guys. You can see it immediately.
Well, Mike Tyson was knocking out former champs though. In like his first 20 fights.
Oh, give it time. It's
I
coming.
think what Ennis gonna have to do to really like get his name really out there, he's gonna have to. I want to see him fight Virgil Ortiz. If both of them fight and if he wins that fight, then it's like okay.
I don't think that
Too early
fight's
for
even
that.
gonna happen.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. Virgil.
That's going to be an amazing fight. Amazing fight. Good style.
Maybe
matchup.
at 154. It's probably going to happen at 154.
Yeah, but let's not get like in the narrative that someone is Virgil Ortiz is avoiding Ennis or Ennis is avoiding Ortiz. I think it's not even good for the sport right now because they're too young. I think like Ennis needs to do is like fight like I don't know who said that Tyson was knocking out former champions. I think he needs to do that. Like you know why? Yeah. Okay. What if he fights like how this guy name? The guy that Pacquiao just
Thurman.
won?
Keith Thurman.
No, Keith Thurman. Yeah, imagine Ennis versus.
Steve Thurman said he does not want to fight Ennis. He already said that. He said
I
that.
can imagine that. I can imagine Thurman's fucking ponytail getting whipped around the ring like that.
Keith
Thurman's used good. He's used good.
I honestly used to like Keith Thurman, man, but Thurman. To keep Thurman be acting like a straight bitch, man. Like, cause I'm like, bro, you gotta fight somebody. Like, even with the ball,
What does that spell?
I'm not buying that fight. That fight.
He's only fought twice in like 4 years.
To be fair, he is coming off a 3-year layoff and a beat.
What fight do you fucking buy?
Why do you need to be fair? Like, it's his own fucking choice.
Hey, hold on,
He's on his
fellas.
fucking 3-year layoff.
Hold on, fellas.
You have never fucking bought a fight in your fucking life. Let's be fucking honest, right?
About the Canelo versus Plant fight.
Hey, LT, let me ask you. Virgil Ortiz, Ennis, if it happens today, who wins?
I think Virgil.
Bro, fucking Virgil Ortiz will fucking cook that dude, bro.
But why? Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
He's fucking tested, bro. He is fucking battle proven, bro.
I got Ennis.
That don't mean nothing.
I gotta say, Ennis has like the best
hold
ring
on.
of
Virgil Ortiz has had real competition compared to Boots Ennis, bro. Like he hasn't really. Boots Ennis hasn't really had a real legitimate 140, 147 pounder, bro. Not really.
The resume can't fight for you.
I just love how every time when a Mexican fighter's gonna fight a black fighter, you shit on the black fighter so hard. That's so crazy.
You know
That's
why?
so crazy that I'm racist though.
is of like I've seen in a while.
Bro, Boots Ennis on his last fucking fight, he got rocked in the first fucking minute, bro.
Well, he knocked the guy out. What are you talking about? He knocked the guy out in 2 minutes. What the fuck are you talking about?
He would have hammered that kid.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Cruz versus Javante Davis.
Boots Ennis leaves that head right in the fucking line, bro. It's fucking meat for fucking Virgil, bro.
Bro, I just want to let you know, Cruz versus Davis.
Bro,
you gotta mute this man.
Fucking 18 wins, 18 knockouts, all right?
Hey,
that is
for the people that
Which fight are you saying he got rocked in?
his last one.
Delorme. He said Delorme fight.
Did get called with a good shot.
All right, I'm gonna watch that because I don't even remember that.
You're gonna get hit.
Once, Ennis ate that shot like it was nothing and kept beating his head. It looked like a
Hey, for the people that say Virgil and Ennis are too young to fight each other, I say fuck that, man, because then that's how you end up waiting like 10 years for them to fight. If they can make it happen now, fuck it, just make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I'm totally with you, Boxing Dialogue. I feel like this sport is dying because we don't get those like Marco Antonio Barrera, Morales series of fights.
Exactly.
These guys are always holding out until they can get like the fight at one time. Why make the fight once when you can make that fight 3-4 times? You know? Like even Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearns, they fought like 3 times. And the second fight was the best fucking fight. And they fought Benitez twice. That's what makes the sport great.
Right.
I think all right, I'm gonna put it like this. After Shakur Stevenson the shit out of
Valdez.
I want him to fight. I want him to move up weight class and fight Gervonta Davis. They already don't like each other. It's a great fight. And they're young right now, they're wilding out right now. And I think that'll be a perfect fight.
So they actually do like each other.
And Tank ain't gonna fight anybody, bro.
I think Earl Spence and
They're actually cool.
Tank is gonna fight another.
Hey, you know what?
Cherry pick Mexican and struggle.
The event could be called the White Beaters, Volume 1.
Errol Spence is 31. Crawford is gonna be in his 40s. And his 40s. He's 33. Okay, well, you guys cook it. Hold on, I'll be back in about a minute. All right.
Crawford's 34 now, right?
Yeah. Hey, look, I respect if you think Virgil will beat Ennis, but you can't say he's gonna cook him. Come on now, you don't think it's gonna be competitive?
Of course, it's going to be competitive.
It's going to be a competitive fight.
LT over here.
Didn't reach the final.
Honest, all right, bro. Let's be honest, all right, bro. He's not ready like Virgil Ortiz is ready, bro. He's been fucking fighting tomato cans, bro.
What?
There's a reason why. Sometimes the fucking the resume counts, bro. You step up in your fight. All of a sudden, you can't. Hold on. It's like saying, hold on. Let me give an example. Let me talk. It's like saying right now that Jake Paul's ready to fight Canelo. All right, I'm done fighting UFC fighters. Let me fight fucking Canelo, bro. You just can't do that shit and pretend that you're fucking being. There's a reason why you step up your fucking competition, bro. To this day, bro, fucking Boots Ennis has been fighting tomato cans, potato sacks, and a fucking Texas. Right? Virgil Ortiz has been fighting real competition at 147 pounds, right, bro?
Mean Machine was considered a nobody before he fought.
Hold on, okay, one at a time. All right, one at a time. Let Rare Breed respond. Rare Breed, go ahead, please.
So first of all, Mean Machine wasn't really considered like this boogeyman before he fought Crawford. People was like, "Who's this guy? And why is Crawford fighting him?" All this
let him finish, man.
Now he's
let him finish.
Let me finish. I'll let you finish.
Let him finish, man. LT, you gotta let him finish, man. Come on, man. LT, you gotta let him finish.
Okay. All right. So, and like all of a sudden, Mean Machine is considered this boogeyman after Crawford was rocked by him. So, and also, who on this panel honestly thinks that Mean Machine could beat Boots Ennis?
I think he can beat him right now. I don't think he's going to beat him later as he evolves.
No.
Well, the question
I don't
is,
think he could have beaten him 2 years ago.
I don't think he's ready right now, but give him a few years and
he's a good fighter, but
give him a few years and he'll pop Ortiz.
The question is, can Boots Ennis take what's his name? Dijes Cavalusca's punch. We know he's got quick reflexes. Can he take his punch? That's what we don't know
Gonzalo, yet. Gonzalo, the real question is, can Cavalusca take Boots' punch? Because he's probably the hardest hitter at 47.
Yeah,
we've
also,
seen that.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah, and we've seen Mean Machine. Mean Machine has everything but punch resistance. Like as soon as he's hit hard by somebody, he folds.
Now let other people get other people to weigh in on this. This is an interesting question. You look at Ennis's resume. He's got Abreu, which I think it's an underrated win. He's got Lipinets, and he's got Dulorme. You look at Virgil Ortiz. He's got Herrera.
Right.
He's got Cavaluscas, and he's got Hooker. Based on their performances and that type of opposition, who would you guys say right now is superior?
I think Mean Machine is the best win out of everybody, but Hooker to me is not a better fighter than Lipinets. They're both 140 pounders, and you can't say Hooker is a better fighter than Lipinets. I don't see that. So I say it's an edge to Ortiz resume wise, but based on eye test and skill from what I see, I mean you could say Porter had a better resume than Crawford, right? But we can tell who was more talented. That's why Crawford was the favorite.
Anybody else?
Wait, what?
Hey,
I disagree.
Porter had a better resume than Crawford.
Crawford beat.
Bro, it's a C-level fighter at best, bro. What are you guys talking about? He's a C-level fighter at
who's the
best,
C-level
bro.
fighter?
Fucking Calabasas or whatever the fuck his name is, bro. He's a B-level fighter, all right? Let's be fucking honest. Calabasas is a B-level fighter, whatever color you want to paint him. But he's a B-level fighter. At least we know
B-level
which
fighter almost dropped Virgil Ortiz.
Hey, yo, hold on. I got something to say. I got something to say. Virgil Ortiz is a bump.
What?
LT. LT, I'm willing to put up a wager. I got Ennis. You got Ortiz?
Yeah, motherfucker. Didn't you fucking hear?
All right, let's do it.
Why is he so hostile? LT's fucking on fire today, man. He's not taking any guff from anybody.
Hey, yo, I know you're gonna know this one.
I got Ennis, 9th round TKO. What you got?
Hey, yo, I know you're gonna hear this. I know you heard this, LT. Hey, yo, Virgil Ortiz is straight basuda, my nigga.
Oh, wait a minute. That's all called for. LT, what you got to say about that, man? He's calling him basuda. Mierda.
Basura.
Black Sheep is a racist, bro. We established this already. Nothing new under the fucking sun, all right? We already exposed this dude. He's gonna bet everything against the Mexican, bro. Bro, I swear, bro. It feels like if he thinks like it's Mexicans that are oppressing black people, bro, which is not the case. Which is not the case.
Projecting. I feel like you projected.
LT, I'm not coming at you as a racist, man. I'm coming at you with boxing skill. And I think Ennis is just better.
Right, because he's
like that's a statement. Like, it's not crazy.
He has more athleticism. He can jump, maybe jog faster. Right? We know what you guys think, all right? We get it. You guys are cute. Oh, he's more athletic? Yeah, we get it. He passes the eye test. I get that shit too. I know where you're coming from, bro. Trust me. I know where you're coming from.
And who hit
conversation. I know we got people in the YouTube channel right now. Hey, yo, you think you could put up on the poll who they think the most racist boxing fan is right now?
I'll set it up.
I'm pretty sure.
That's easy.
You're gonna lose by it's more Mexicans on this channel than.
Oh, now that's racist. Hold on a second. That is racist. What you just said, the Red.
I did hear that. I did hear that Boots Ennis punches way harder than Errol Spence.
Who said
he
that?
does.
But who said
Keith
that?
Thurman also it looks like he does.
Well,
Keith Thurman probably does.
That South African dude said that. What's the South African dude's name?
I remember one of the Garcias saying Keith Thurman hits harder than Spence. I don't remember which one though.
I think it was Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia.
I bet that Ghanaian guy Lartey hits harder than a lot of those guys too. Like, it doesn't matter if you hit hard.
Garcia.
Van Heerden fought both of them.
That's not surprising. He's way bigger than him.
Okay.
How the fuck do you make a poll?
Not necessarily.
Dennis is like is a middleweight pretty much.
I mean, look at Mario Barros and look at Gervonta Davis. Who hits harder?
Danny Garcia.
Gervonta Davis.
Exactly. Size don't mean punching power.
Hitter in the sport.
Ollie Malignaggi.
Exactly. Size doesn't equal punching power.
Listen, I think when Gervonta Tank Davis fought Issa Cruz, and Issa Cruz was real. Oh man, that was the best fight I ever seen from a Gervonta Tank Davis fight. But I think that he did a style called the dog walk, and he dog walked the shit out of him. And that's essentially what happened.
Wait, who got walked? Who
got dog walked?
I don't see anybody dog walking as Issa Cruz.
No.
The real tank. That's all I can say.
Bro, did you just say that was the best fight you've ever seen? Come on, bro.
No, I said from Gervonta Tank brother. I said from Gervonta Tank Davis, that was the best fight I've seen from Gervonta. Because I honestly
didn't you see Pedraza? That was his best fight. That was a legitimate opponent. He went in there and worked it.
His best performance.
Yeah, Isaac Cruz, dude. He didn't know what to do, man, in there.
I would say Isaac
Davis
Cruz
played with him. Oh, come on, bro. That's some bullshit. Dude.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pedraza beat him.
That fight reminded me of when Mayweather fought Madonna, and Madonna was just on his neck. Like, and that's why I liked it. I love that fight.
Gervonta Davis did not dog walk Isaac Cruz. Because when you're walking the dog don't throw you all over the canvas.
Yeah, but the dog followed you though.
If I could have gone either way, it could have been a draw. That's not what I
Yeah,
call
it was a
dog
close fight. It was a close fight.
Yeah, but he had a boo-boo on his hand. Remember, he had a fucking bad boo-boo on his left hand, so of course, that's the excuse.
Yeah.
Please. He doesn't know how to fight going backwards. That's established. He has no lateral movement anymore. When you just beat up on fucking guys who should be parking cars, it's a joke. It's a joke. Listen, 4 years ago, that would have been a live dog against Lomachenko. If they fought next weekend, Lomachenko would school that fucking boy bad.
Yeah.
Don't worry, gentlemen.
Hey, Rare.
Yo, Jimmy, I have a question for you. Have you actually seen a fighter regress, obviously as much as Tank has?
Obvious. I've seen it before. Just
competition might have regressed, but
exactly. No, his skills have regressed too. His speed has regressed, and that's not just necessarily all his opponents. A lot of that is outside the ring activities. Clearly, he's not living a good life. Ever see how big he grows out to?
Yeah, doesn't he?
70 pounds.
It's shocking though, right? Have you ever actually seen someone get so much worse from 24 to 27?
Because
that's crazy, right?
When I was young and hanging around the game a lot more and hanging out with fighters, they never let themselves get like that. They look like that after they retired for a couple of years. This dude went into one camp. The last of the 2 times he missed scale. Okay, 2 times he missed fucking weight on the scale. That's humiliating for a fighter. Right? He did it twice. That's how little he took that shit serious. So he has an 8-week camp too. He doesn't even do a 12-week. He does an 8-week camp. The first month of it's fat camp. That's all it is. So it's fat camp. He's sucking wind. Never see the videos. He can barely fucking breathe.
Oh yeah,
and then fuckers eating double pooper platters. And
it's not only the physical part. It's the mental, throwing one punch at a time, getting on the back foot, safety first. What Mayweather has instilled in him, that's changed him.
Yeah. Do you guys also think that he was relying on his uppercut too much? He's been throwing that for a while, and Cruz was blocking it almost every time.
Yeah.
Well,
that's just an obvious mental thing, but his actual speed, his reflexes are down. It's crazy.
Yeah, not only are you
gotten better for me.
Not only are you relying too much on the uppercut, that's okay to rely on that punch, but you're signaling your opponent by telegraphing it, by sticking your other arm out.
Yeah, Wilder in the Tyson Fury 3 fight.
It's basically like when you're gonna serve a pass with the tennis ball. You hold the tennis ball, then you aim with your other hand to the tennis ball. That's what he was doing. He was sticking out his hand like a flagpole, punching to his other hand. So basically, he was telling Isaac Cruz where I'm gonna throw my punch, and you can't do that. You gotta surprise your opponent.
Yeah, it's an Instagram punch.
Yeah, just imagine.
He probably has a. I was saying, probably has a bonus for every knockouts he gets with the uppercut, because when you knock someone out with an uppercut, like that Santa Cruz was great to look at. I mean, it was awesome. But did you see, if you go back and look at that, he's not even considering what's coming at him. That shit's bouncing off his shoulder, up top of his head, and his little fucking, feather-fisted Santa Cruz shoe shining, right, putting nothing on him, and he just stepped. And boom, but it looks good. He probably gets bonuses for it. But seriously think he's going to catch Lomachenko with that punch?
Just think about Usyk. How many chances do you think you can get with Usyk where you do something, but then on the second time you try it, he's gonna know what you're trying to do. It's the same thing. You can't be doing something repetitively over and over again and expect your opponent not to pick up on that.
That's all very obvious tactical or that's all very obvious strategic stuff. But I'm just talking about as a physical specimen, Gervonta Davis has regressed, and I've never seen that in an athlete. In the prime of their career, from 24 to 27, you're only just improving. How could you get worse? His feet are worse. His reflexes are worse.
You know that happened to us. Hey, you know that happened.
Can I say something?
I think Gervonta Davis could beat Lomachenko, but the only way how you gonna beat Lomachenko is you gotta watch for when Lomachenko steps to the side.
All right, let's let
fight him, which he's
yeah,
not
let
gonna do.
the ultimate feel wants to say
Mr.
something.
BDA is talking.
Yeah, the ultimate feel wants to say something. But before you go, ultimate feel, let me just read a couple of super chats because I don't know if I'm gonna have a chance to do it. Yes, please. Shout out to Ed Perez for his contribution to the super chat. Says Boot still isn't proven, and his herky jerky style is going to cost him when he faces a puncher like Ortiz. Boots reminds me of Peter Pan, the way he moves. All right, Ed Perez, thank you for your contribution. I don't really quite understand what he means by Peter Pan, but
That was
shout out
corny.
That was what? Oh, corny. Okay, but so shout out Perez for that. And hold on a second, real quick. Shout out to there's another one here. Hold on a second, give me 2 seconds. Rider of the Storm, and he says LT is that drunk Tio that leaves the restroom with coke residue on his nose, trying to fight everybody in the party. I've seen my. I used to be that Tio back in the day, man. Shout out to Rider of the Storm for that. Except it wasn't coke. And shout out to OG Boogie for his contribution to the super chat. Shout out to OG Boogie. He says, I have a question for Black Chibi. Who will win between Lomachenko and Tank Davis as of this present time? Oh, that's right. Floyd Mayweather is not going to let it happen. He wants to age out Loma. All right, G Boogie, thank you for your contribution. Now let's ultimately
feel saying that.
Shout out to that dude, man.
Yeah, he's been saying that for a long time.
But all of us, I wanted to let the ultimate feel.
Davis, I think that he can.
I want the ultimate feel. Ultimate feel was going to say something. He's been. Go ahead, ultimate feel.
Okay. Star, to answer that question of, how Tank as a physical specimen regressed, his talents seem to have left him. I remember this little conversation me and my friends had about Roy Jones Jr. and after the John Ruiz fight. And then we talked about how, he bulked up and weighed very fast. But when he went back down to light heavyweight to face Tarver, he lost that weight almost as fast as he got it. And they probably think that very fast 25-pound weight drop probably destroyed his muscle fibers and his natural athleticism to a bit. Do you think him always cutting that much weight so big so fast may have fucked up his body a bit?
Yeah, he has bounced in weight classes, but I
honestly was trying to say.
Ultimate Phil. Earl Spence does it all the time.
He hasn't gone up and down a weight class like that.
Well, and then the hand excuse too, right? I mean, that's so lame. Listen, boxers' hands after a fucking 10-round, 12-round fight always look like that. Hey, you want to fucking... When I went in the hospital room to see Mickey Ward and Toro Gotti, but I didn't know they were actually side by side. It was fucked up. It was just coincidental. They ended up that way in the emergency room. Between the curtain, they fucking slid it around. Hey, dude, what's up? They started rapping, but that's where their friendship really took off, from that spot in the room. But Toro had his hands in ice. They didn't even look human. They were so swollen. Yeah, I didn't hear him fucking go, oh, and he just made a joke of him. I'm like, God damn, dude, look at your hands. He's like, yeah, the fucking kid, his hand is like cement. But so swollen hands in boxes is like bitches and excuses. You know what I mean? Like that goes hand in hand. I'm just saying that was really lame to take a picture, and he took it inside the car after. You could tell he's next to, and it was the shadow and made it look a little more swollen. And your hand's either broke or it ain't broke. You know what I mean?
My personal opinion on Gervonta Davis with the whole thing, I honestly, because I really, really enjoy the sweet science of boxing, like the Mayweathers and the Andre Wards. I think that his I like that. I think that he looked real good in that, and I think that he's improving a lot. Because at first I didn't even like Gervonta Tank Davis until he fought Barrios. Oh, I thought we were talking about
Just call him Tank. Just call him Tank. Save yourself some time. Just call him Tank.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I like how he was very backpedaling, and how he fought that fight. Like I just love that sweet science, and I thought that it was a beautiful thing. I mean, he didn't knock him out. I know that's what everybody was looking for, but how he performed that night, I thought it was great.
TV, you're awesome.
Well, can I just say? Can I just say about that whole thing with Tank Davis is what I don't like is he's got a low punch output, and so far he was getting away with it because he knocked everybody out. But against Barrios, he was cutting it thin, man. He wasn't throwing that. I think he threw about 300 something shots, which is low for a guy his weight. And against Isaac Cruz, again, not a lot of output. And on top of that, he was clenching a lot. And that was even before he hurt his hand. Because if I understood it correctly, he claims he hurt his hand at around the 5th round. But before that, he was already clinching. So when a guy excessively clinches like that, I got to ask, what happens when he's got Lomachenko in front of him? And that's what Lomachenko does to all these guys. He stands in front of them. He doesn't run. And he will just pressure. And that's how he breaks guys down. So what is Davis going to do? He's going to have to let his hands go. He's got the power. He's got the hands.
Wait.
It will never happen.
Honestly, I don't think he's got the power anymore, though. That's the thing. He couldn't even knock out Gamboa.
Stop promoting these
If you
dudes. They're
guys
never
think-
gonna fight.
He's not going to walk down Tank. He's not doing that. He's going to be way more careful. Similar to he was with Theo. He's going to be a lot more careful doing that with Tank.
But that's what he was doing to Lopez, though. When he started to turn it on, he was walking him down. Lopez started clinching. Lopez wasn't clinching in the early rounds. Once Lomachenko turned it on, whips all of a sudden, Lopez starts clinching, complaining about headbutts.
Yeah, and Lopez put it on him as well on the 12th round when he started exchanging as well.
That's right, yeah, but it's Tank Davis. Is Tank Davis Teofimo Lopez? I mean, is Lomachenko going to go in there with an injured shoulder? Those are the questions that we got to ask ourselves about whether Tank Davis can.
No,
pull
you're
off this
right.
win.
He's not Teofimo. He's much more talented.
I think Lomachenko's going to outclass Tank.
No, he's not.
That's what.
See, that's my issue. I understand if you think Loma's going to win the fight, but he's not going to outclass Tank. That's not happening.
No. Listen, like I said earlier, I believe in
you say outbox? Come on, dude. You're talking with emotions, bro.
Well, I mean,
you guys are saying like he's going to destroy like Tank is some kind of bomb or something. Like the guys are just talented, regardless how you feel about him.
And he's fought nothing but fucking no hopers.
Like I said earlier, I believe in
And I don't
the
think Loma fighting back like Tank either.
It's a possible chance that if they did fight, Lomachenko could outclass him. But the only way how Tank will end up winning that fight is if he be on his neck. He got to let them hands go. Because if he don't, Lomachenko is going to take advantage of that.
The only way Tank beats him is.
I think Devin Haney will beat him.
That fight's not going to happen, fellas.
The only way Tank would ever beat Lomachenko is by knockout. That is the only fucking way. Anybody who thinks, it's just like, yeah, we can talk boxing, get on here, man, but when we start talking from our emotions and our feelings, because you can't find one fucking credible trainer, one professional trainer who would agree with that opinion, saying Tank's a more skilled boxer than they would laugh in your face.
Hell no. I never know that. He's the most skillful.
Yeah, exactly. Recognize Stephen S. Edwards would fucking just grab his stomach, roll over laughing, dude. Lomachenko's an incredibly skilled boxer. What Tankwood has is speed, dog, and punching power. But money, silk sheets, and fame, and being fucking matched softer than puppy shit is fucking taken and diminished his skills. And I'm straight up, and I was a huge fan, dude. But don't talk emotion, dude. I mean, you undercut your own credibility if anyone says Tank's a more skilled boxer than Lomachenko. That's your
I never said that, but I think he has a chance.
I ain't saying you did say it, but people are saying it.
Well, can I just say
he's not giving him a chance? I would give him a chance too. But if they were to fight right now, dude, he kills him. He drowns Tank.
Yeah,
he makes him think.
That's going too far for me.
The only way how he can win that fight is if he's on his neck. He have to be on his neck the whole
right.
fight.
He has to be on his neck. He has to. You're saying a lot of stuff he has to do. I'm saying if they both show up with their talent, their A game, he smokes Tank right now. He smokes him.
Hands down.
Tank's got some intangibles. Tank's got some intangibles that he can capitalize on. It's punching power with both hands. So he's got to have he's got to have a great strategy because look, Timothy Bradley said it himself. When you throw a hook, you want to end up on your opponent's weak side. That way he can counter you. Let's say Lomachenko hits him from either side of the body, like where he changes the angles to the right or to the left. Tank could use them short hooks to hook Lomachenko's head or to the body or to the head with either side he lands on because he can punch hard with both hands. So he can fight. He's got to have a good strategy.
Jimmy.
Yo.
I think Lomachenko will do Tank like he did Nicholas Waters.
Well, let me can I just say something about
confuse him? Yeah, it would confuse him. Yes,
can I just say something about this fight? Yeah, because first of all, it's a little bit of a moot point, all this, because I don't think the fight's going to happen either way. I mean, it's if it happens, it's going to be.
I didn't hear that. Hold on. Mayweather trying to get Lomachenko in the ring.
Let me just finish. Come on,
Jesus.
Listen. Mayweather himself said, we don't want to give shine to any other promotional entity. We keep things in-house. So they're going to match him up with Matthias or somebody else. They're not going to match him up with Lomachenko. I'd be very surprised. Let's just put it that way. I'd be very surprised if it happens. But in regards to Tank Davis, I've heard that where people say, well, Tank Davis is better than Lomachenko, but the performances just don't add up. I mean, when have you ever seen Lomachenko struggle against somebody like that Nicaraguan guy that Tank Davis looked bad against? I forgot his name. Fonseca.
Salido?
Fonseca.
Fonseca.
Salido is second professional fight,
hold on, fellas.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, fellas, please let me finish. Hold on, I haven't finished, please. I haven't finished. Salido's way better than Fonseca. I mean, Salido beat Juan Manuel Lopez twice. Fonseca has nowhere near that name in his resume. Number two, Tank Davis also looked bad against Isaac Cruz. Like I said, clinching, one punch at a time. So you have to factor in Lomachenko has better wins and he's been more consistent. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean he wins head-to-head against Tank Davis. That's why they fight.
Now respond to that.
But hold on. But you can't, based on their resumes and their performances in the ring, you can't say beyond a reasonable doubt that Tank Davis is a much better fighter because he's had inconsistent performances, whereas Lomachenko, the only inconsistent performance he had in the last 3 years was against Lopez, and now it's looking like it was true that he did have an injured shoulder, and that's what played a factor in there.
Okay. All right. So let me respond to that real quick. So you said that was his second professional fight. No, let me give you an example. Shakur Stevenson, fresh out of the Olympics, is not losing to a dude like Orlando Salido. And Tank, even in his first fight, you put him against Orlando Salido, he's not losing to that dude either.
Oh my
let me respond to that, please. Jimmy, let me respond to that.
Let BDA go.
Tank Davis struggled against Isaac Cruz right now. Not in his second fight.
I think he'll prove to be better than
Orlando Salido beat Juan Manuel Lopez twice. He beat Robert Guerrero, although that fight got turned into a no contest. He went 12 rounds, I believe, against Gamboa. He beat up that Thai dude in a war. I mean, this guy's just... He should have beaten Roman Martinez, but they stole that fight in the third fight because they fought 3 times. So, I mean, Salido is a seasoned fighter.
Orlando Salido lost 14 times, and one of those is not Lomachenko.
But hold on. How did he lose against? Name the guys he lost to, and how did he lose to them?
I don't know who those guys are. They're bums. But
hold on. Did you watch those fights? Rebri, did you watch those fights?
Did I watch those fights that he lost? No, I have no interest in Orlando Salido.
Come on. So how can you say he's? So how can you say he's? But hold on. How can you say he's better than Isaac Cruz if you've never seen him fight?
I know.
No, I'm saying that Isaac Cruz is better than people give him credit for. He'll prove to be better.
But you said, but you also said Tank Davis ain't losing to Orlando Salido. How would you know if you've never seen Salido's losses?
He's not. Because a guy like Orlando Salido is tailor-made for Tank Davis.
Him, dude. Listen, you don't know nothing about him, bro.
He's tailor-made for Tank.
How is he? Hold on. Okay, how is he tailor-made?
There's a lot of Orlando Salidos on Tank's record.
Yeah, and he struggled against the last one he fought in Isaac Cruz.
Yeah. Cruz and Salido actually fight very similar, dude.
I mean, come on, man. Let's face the facts. I mean, look,
he was a 12-1 underdog. He was a Vegas no-hoper.
Knock his ass out in 3 rounds.
Exactly.
If anyone wants to pick Tank Davis,
look, my point is Lomachenko is not unbeatable. Like, we gotta stop this narrative that this dude is just.
No, listen, we don't have to stop any narrative, dude. There's no narrative. Just because that bothers you for whatever fucking reason, this kid's talent offends you. Nobody has to stop a narrative. The kid's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's done something, fighting 11 world champions, ex or current, in his first 17 pro fights, first in boxing history. He's 9 in fucking 2 in world championship fights, and he's all done that in 17 fights. He's made guys quit. in the ring, and you're gonna say we have to stop the narrative because the guy that you're fucking spoon fiending for fucking fights hand-picked no-hopers and goes the distance, and you're trying to convince guys who've forgotten more about this fucker than most you dudes know, and you're gonna fucking start telling and screwing us? Come on. You're fucking embarrassing yourself with that talk, dude.
How long have you been like following the sport, man? Because like I don't think you understand like the kind of route Orlando Salido took, man. Like, this guy,
I don't even necessarily think. No, you guys, you have me misconstrued.
Let me explain that.
I will, Gonzalo. I will. Let me respond to him real quick. So you have me misconstrued. I don't necessarily think Tank would beat Lomachenko, but to act like Lomachenko would just absolutely destroy him, I think is like too far fetched.
Well, can I say something, Gonzalo? Gonzalo, can I say?
I'm not on this point. I'm on the Orlando Salido point though, just to kind of defend his career, because like I don't think you understand how difficult it is in boxing to come up as an opponent. Like his first 20 fights, he's fighting guys who are
Salido would have fought Tank in his second fight or his third fight. He would have mauled him and he would have destroyed him.
No, he wouldn't.
Listen. What do you mean? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Who the fuck are you? Like, you know the future. Okay? You don't know that. In my opinion, he busts that ass. He don't pass the test.
Okay. I respect that. Recognize that. In my opinion, Tank will bust his ass. So
let me explain.
Tank will bust whose ass? In the second fight? In his second fight? In his second fight.
Absolutely, in his second fight.
And why was he fighting bums in his second fight? Why was he fighting bums?
Why
was he fighting bums? Why was he fighting bums?
Why was Shakur fighting guys who were losing records then?
Yeah,
why was he started out? Tank started out fighting at 19. Lomachenko started at what, 26?
It doesn't matter, motherfucker. He did the point that he
doesn't matter. Why are you getting him?
No, it doesn't.
He would have fucking got destroyed.
Hey, can I say something? Hold on. Can I say something here? Can I say something? Gonzalo, yeah, Gonzalo, go ahead. Gonzalo, hey, fellas. Gonzalo, go. Okay, what the fuck? Okay, fight the spirit. What the fuck, man? Hold on. Okay, Gonzalo, go ahead, and then I have something to say about. But go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah, let me explain real quick. Orlando Salido style. Orlando Salido is a pressure fighter. When you come forward, you take more chances. Therefore, you have a greater opportunity of getting beat than the guy that gets on the back foot. But a lot of times when you come forward with that pressure style, a lot of dudes are going to crumble. And that's what Orlando Salido makes other fighters do. He makes them crumble because of the pressure. Now, yeah, he could get outboxed by guys that get on the back foot, but if you apply that pressure, some guys are not going to be able to take that, and that's why he's a ex-world champion.
That's a good point. Now, can I say something? I want to say something about that. So, okay, listen, to a rare breed, I mean, I understand if you want to pick Tank Davis and say that's your opinion, but I think it's safe to say that some people's opinions are worth more if they actually know a little bit more about what they're watching. For example, like you said, you never watched Orlando Salido, and then admitted that you don't need to see. You don't need to see them. So your opinion, just based on that, we got to admit, and you'd have to admit as well, your opinion is not worth as much because you've never seen those Orlando Salido losses. You don't know how those went down. So and so.
Can I say something real quick?
So even though
Orlando Salido beat the living daylights out of Robert Guerrero. Beat him. I don't care about the no contest. Go watch that fight. He beat the dog shit out of him. He also knocked out Juan Manuel Lopez in Puerto Rico twice. No problem. Knocked him out. Okay?
None of those dudes are Tank.
You put that dude in there, and you're inexperienced, he eats you up alive. That's what he does.
Wait, hold on.
Is Tank as good as Prime Gamboa?
No.
Hell no.
He is.
I think the Gamboa fight showed that he isn't, right? Because that was a washed version of Gamboa, and he almost went the whole
leg too. Like his leg was messed up, and he couldn't even drop him.
Salido,
it was 2-3 weight classes above where Gamboa was used to fighting.
Yeah, I was like thrown. I stopped drinking the Kool-Aid after that. I was like, man, this dude's being propped up.
I mean, he got him out of there eventually. I mean, we could also say that Loma didn't look good as against Pedraza as Tank did.
That's a good point, but that's on the other side of that coin. On the other side of that, on the other side of that, on the other side of that coin, on the other, fellas, can you hear me? Fellas, can you hear me? On the other side of that coin, Pedraza was a little bit more wagering at 130 than at 135, and I don't know why he chose to fight Tank Davis that way. But the point is, look. What we got so far is, Tank Davis. What we got so far is Lomachenko in his second fight, going toe to toe with Salido. He didn't get schooled. He didn't get outboxed. He wasn't clinching, throughout the fight. If anybody was clinching, it was Salido, and he almost took him out. Now, since then, the only hiccup in his resume has been against Lopez, and now we find out that the shoulder did have a big part to play in that. So
it wasn't a shoulder thing; it was a heart thing.
The only thing we got so far, fellas, please let me finish. Please let me finish.
Let him finish.
What we do have so far is Tank Davis struggling against Fonseca, who got taken out in one round by Ryan Garcia, and struggling mightily against Isaac Cruz. So, and he, when he fought Pedraza, he was also getting hit a lot with head snapping shots. Lomachenko, the thing that makes him dangerous is this: he doesn't run for the most part, except when he has to take a little bit of a break. Most of the time he's in front of his opponent with the feints, twisting guys, turning them, body shots, and all that. And I think something that people really don't take into account with Lomachenko is he tucks his chin in very, very well and blocks. He puts up that guard. That's why you don't often see his chin or his head getting snapped back. When your head snaps back, that's what the judges are looking for. That's as clean a shot as you can get. So that's one of the things that makes it very difficult to get a decision against him. I mean, even against Lopez in the early rounds, he was Lopez was throwing shots. He wasn't hitting him clean. It's just the problem for Lomachenko was that he wasn't throwing anything in rounds 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once he turned it up, he forced Lopez to fucking clinch, and then he was complaining about the headbutt. So, I mean, I don't know if Tank Davis can handle it, but to say that Tank Davis beats him without having seen the guys he's fought or seen the guys that Lomachenko fought, lost, it's you gotta do your due diligence and do your homework. But go ahead, Gonzalo. Go ahead.
Yeah, BDA. Yes, you know what I was trying to say earlier, but I got a little distracted. If there's one thing that you can bring to the table that will help you against Lomachenko is that if you hit hard with both hands, when Lomachenko tries to circle around, whether it's to the right or to the left, you can surprise him with a little short hook where you got nowhere to go. Because if you go to the left or right, you can punch hard with both hands, and you could certainly land a hard punch on Lomachenko. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to bring one thing to the table, that's something that Gervonta Davis has, but he has to fight in that style, and we didn't see that in his last fight. He totally fought in a way that doesn't merit the skills that he possesses.
And can I add about Orlando Salido fight? The dude came in 6 pounds overweight. All right, literally 6 pounds of weight. And the referee, the year later, publicly apologized for his performance. Said it was his worst performance of his career. He should have stopped the fight and fucking disqualified Salido by the 6th round. That's how many ball shots, intense ball shots. A kid coming out of the amateurs fought the probably worst person, but at the same token, it was probably the smartest thing he ever did. Salido was a gym rat, a tough gym rat who knew all the tricks, punching you in the hip, punching you in the nuts, looks for the shadow off the canvas where the ref is so he knows what shots he can get away with. All the old school fucking tricks, and he laid them all on there. And he said after that fight went one more round, I was done. That kid's incredible. So to get that kind of fight, and then when I watched that fight, I've sat there and watched Mickey Ward. I'm not even watching the fight. I'm watching Mickey with his jaw on his chest going, what the fuck?
Well, listen. That's all.
I'm listening to guys like him, So all right.
Yeah, that's all. Listen, that's all good. I mean, that's good and everything. But I think at the end of the day, we've talked enough about this fight because guess what? It's not gonna happen. Mayweather himself has said since 2017, this fight, we're not in a rush to make it. And then in the last, after the last Tank Davis fight, or I think I guess after Barrios, I think he said we're gonna keep things in house. So he's telling you straight up. He doesn't want to
Rolly first.
I
got a question for the panel.
Boxing is 60%, 70% conditioning, and like Salido, he's like from Sonora. He's like an Indian. Those dudes are notorious for having great stamina. Look, when when Tank Davis fought Yuriorkis Gamboa, he didn't show up in the greatest of shape, and that's why he won 11 rounds on 1 foot against Tank Davis. Now, you can have it to where one day, if he doesn't show up in prime fighting shape, when you got a guy that pressures you, even though he might not be as talented as you, 60 or 70% of boxing is conditioning. Yeah, he's gonna get fucking dog walked one day.
Well, listen, can we move on from this?
Well, Mr. BD, I wanted to let you know, I don't know if you saw this, I'm sure you have. Now they're contradicting themselves. So what they did, right? Floyd's came out straight up, said, in-house, pop, fucking, propaganda boy, Smellerby, he just never shuts the fuck up with his diversions. But so see what they did, because they said that, and that's the truth. Everybody knows the next fight's going to be rolling on pay-per-view. So what did they do? They rolled out his fucking trainer, Calvin Ford, to come out and say, well, we've been wanting to fight Tank. He didn't want nothing to do with us. He wouldn't even say our names. What is such ridiculous bullshit. There's a tsunami of fucking receipts proving that didn't happen. But see what they're doing, dude? That's, to me, is so just a glory snatch off fucking Loma's name, get him some press, get a few fucking dummies say, oh yeah, no, Loma duck Tank, and then they're gonna fight some fucking slug on pay-per-views. And it's like, it's an embarrassment to the sport that I fucking grew up and love so much.
All right, well listen, I mean, based on that,
start making stories, man.
I think one hitter wanted to say something about the whole Loma Salido situation. One hitter, by the way, one hitter, I'm gonna mute you because I can hear one hitter, I can hear myself in the background. Please turn your speakers off, man, and put your earbuds or headphones on because we can hear the background noise there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead, man.
All right, my bad. Well, I wanted to say something about Salido and Lomachenko. I mean, Lomachenko, I don't know why he waited so long to turn pro. I mean, I was a pro. I was an amateur boxer. I remember when I was coming up in the amateurs, like I would see like 22-year-olds, 23, 24-year-olds. I would be thinking like, what are they still doing as an amateur? Like I'm here, 16, 17-year-old kid fighting against a 24-year-old guy.
Right.
I mean, yeah, like, I think.
What weight class you fight in? What weight class?
Well, I started at 132. And then I was fighting at 141.
Okay.
Back in the day, back in that time, that's the weight classes. I don't know what it is right now.
Brother, how far did you think you were going to go? I'm just asking. Did you have aspirations to become an Olympic champion, world champion, one of the best amateurs in the world?
No, but.
So my point is, Lomachenko had very nationalistic. His father was the fucking strength and conditioning coach for the Olympic team, so he was very nationalistic pride. So that's the reason why he's hung in so long. That's what I read, anyways.
Is it pretty common for Eastern Europeans to stay in the amateurs for longer?
Just that's the way they do it. Yeah.
They're still very nationalistic.
And Cubans.
Well, the point about Lomachenko, though.
Instead of talking about Gervonta versus Loma, how about Devin Haney versus Loma? I think that'll be a great fight. I think Haney could beat him.
You know, I used to think that too, but then the Diaz fight, the Diaz fight didn't fill me with too much confidence. I mean, it's take Jojo Diaz, everything he does, Lomachenko does it at a higher level and with more.
I think Shakur has the best chance out of everybody. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but Shakur.
We're talking about
I think Devin Haney could beat him.
Now, listen. All I'm saying is this:
way better fighter than Haney.
We can go ahead and give Devin Haney a free ticket because he didn't fight in so long and he just got into that fight. Now that so Jojo Diaz essentially just knocked the rust off of him. Now, if he fight Lomachenko now, I know that Haney got him.
You said Devin didn't fight in so long.
Lomachenko only got two medals because he was fighting against 16-year-olds.
Well, he wasn't fighting 16-year-olds. First of all, I mean, you're making it out he's fighting teenagers.
Okay, he was fighting. He pretty much was fighting against 16-year-olds.
But hold on, didn't he beat a bunch of other Eastern Europeans who were also in their mid-20s or late 20s?
You can't criticize Lomachenko on this panel, bro. You're fucking up.
Don't stop it. Because if somebody says something that is not factually correct, and we say no, that's not true. So now we're nut hugging, huh?
Well, listen. At least, hold on. At least
fan club.
Hey, you know what?
Okay, sorry, your emotions got the better of you, dude. Yeah.
You know what? I've noticed. I've noticed with Rare Breed, when he starts getting emotional, he doesn't have any arguments anymore. Listen, Rare Breed, do us a favor. Go watch the fights first, because obviously you only read box rec, and then maybe you can comment.
Now comes the insults. Now we're in the stage of the fucking show. It's insult time.
You know what? Don't forget, fellas.
I think I hit a soft spot.
Don't forget.
I think I hit a soft spot.
Okay, but hold on. Let me say this. Let me say this. I'm Mexican. Why would I care about Lomachenko if he's white or whatever?
You said, why would you care?
Yeah,
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm asking you your opinion. You have a lot of opinions, but this time you're asking me to answer. I'm asking you.
I don't know why you're asking me that question in the first place. What are you trying to say?
Because you said I hit a soft spot over Lomachenko. You're trying to listen. At the end of the day, man, you haven't even watched the fight.
Yeah, just because you're Mexican doesn't mean you can't be a fan of Lomachenko. What are you? I don't even know what you're implying.
Well, okay, listen. Let's put it this way, man. Every time you come in here, what?
I'm just laughing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I get you. You haven't listened. The point is, you haven't even watched the fights. So how can you comment on that if you haven't watched the fights?
Dude, nobody has time to watch every single fighter, all their fights.
Did I say that though? Did I say that? Did I say
you've seen all of Orlando Salido's fights?
Did I say that you have to watch all the fights?
Have you seen all of Orlando Salido's fights?
Have you seen any of Orlando Salido's fights? Please don't interrupt me, please. Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. I asked you a question and you... See, that's the thing, Red Breed. That's what I don't like about you. You got very female-like qualities. You don't answer questions. You tiptoe around the answers. It's, I asked you a simple question. Well, what do you think? Well, you answer with a question. Then, have you ever seen the fights? I don't want to have to watch every fight. I didn't say every fight. You're putting things in my mouth. You skirt around the issues. It's very annoying to talk boxing with you.
I've seen the Lomachenko fight.
Now you're answering the question when I'm talking. I mean, come on, you're all over the place, man. Seems like you just want to annoy rather than talk boxing.
Wait, on a point of order, BDA, can you really be the female if he's putting things in your mouth?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. No, but I mean, on a serious note here, we were talking about Lomachenko, and then it turned into a whole. Well, this is the Lomachenko fan club. I gotta tell you, man.
Hate Lomachenko. They hate him.
Say one thing?
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, that's the thing. Why do people hate?
Because he's a man. Because he conducts himself like a man.
That's the thing, though. That's the big question. That's the big question I got. That's the big question. That's the big question I had. That's the big question I had.
I don't hate Lomachenko. I just don't like him. You know what I'm saying?
I recognize, but please, recognize, but please stop calling.
Let Gonzalo speak, for God's sake. Please, calm down.
I was going to say, recognize, please stop calling him Lomachenko, because, you are sounding like a fanboy.
No, but you know what? Here's the
Lomachenko.
I gotta ask though. I gotta ask a question.
Olympic gold.
I gotta ask a question. Can I ask a question here? Can I ask a question? Why is rooting for Lomachenko? Like, if you're gonna root for anybody, why wouldn't you root for Lomachenko? Because we already had the discussion the other day, and Rare Breed admitted, no matter what happens with an American, he will always root for them, even if he's a rapist, a criminal, an asshole, whatever. So we already know he's biased. We already know Rare Breed is biased. We already know you're biased. So I mean, and you don't watch fights. So on top of being uneducated with that, in boxing you're uneducated as well. But with Lomachenko, excuse me. So with Lomachenko, whether you're black, Eskimo, whatever, why wouldn't you root for this guy? This guy doesn't complain that much. You never hear him complaining about the money, about the ring. If he does, hey, he's smart enough to keep it behind the door, behind closed doors, where it's supposed to stay. When he fights. Hold on a second. I'm not done. When he fights, I'm not finished. Can I? Rare Breed, are you just gonna interrupt every time I talk? Is that how it works, or I don't get it?
Go ahead.
All right. So Lomachenko, when he fights very good opposition, he doesn't run, he doesn't clinch, he tries to do it as clean as possible. If they're saying, and he's, as far as I know, nobody has any proof of this, he doesn't seem to be that much of an asshole. I do think he's got a bit of an arrogant streak, like when he told Comey's corner to stop it. I said, okay, just fucking finish him. Don't worry about trying to look, good, whatever, morally good. Just fucking end the guy. Why wouldn't you root for that guy? Why would you root for a guy like Tank Davis who manhandles his significant other in public, slaps telephones out of fans' hands in public, gets drunk, runs into people and flees the scene like John Jones. I mean, really, are we gonna skirt around this issue and say that it's really that bad a thing to respect the guy who does everything that's asked for him? Boxing fans always say that we want the best to fight the best. Well, then when you have a guy like Lomachenko, all of a sudden we'd rather root for the other guy because he looks like us. I mean, that's a little bit primitive, if you ask me.
I never say anything about that, but okay.
I'm not saying you.
So let me respond to what he just said.
Okay.
So first of all I was saying was I think that Tank can beat him. I never mentioned anything about I prefer Tank as a man or I like his morality or whatever over Lomachenko. That had nothing to do with it. I just think that he has a chance to beat Lomachenko. That's not some crazy ass statement.
No, but then you said this is the Lomachenko. Right, but then you said this is the Lomachenko. When you ran out of arguments, you decided to make it personal. So I'm making it personal.
Because anybody says anything against Jimmy, automatically jumps in and acts like people are attacking this.
Well, it's because hold on, Redbreed, can you blame him when last time you admitted that you would root for the American, which is code word for race, in other words, no matter what? I mean, you got to admit. And then you always use these female tactics of trying to be coy and condescending. I mean, you can't blame you piss off a guy like Jimmy like that because he doesn't play it like that. He tries to be honest.
Can I respond to that real quick?
No, we're same way. Let Rare Breed finish.
The same way you assume that black people, some black people will root for Tank because of his skin color. Is it crazy to think that there's some white people out here, or maybe some on this panel, that will root for Loma for the same reason?
Yeah, because they're not even the same nationality.
Doesn't have to be. He's still a white man at the end of the day.
Is that the way you? But hold on. Is that the way? Is that the way? Is that the way?
That's impossible.
So is that the way you?
Derek, just say what you think, man.
That's why we said.
Hold on. Let me ask him a question right now.
Chibi, wait.
Okay,
I'm not told anything. I just told you what I think.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Is it crazy? Is it crazy to think that there are some out there that will loot for Roma for the same exact reason?
I would say so. I would say it's not that crazy. But now let me ask you, man. But let me ask you: Is that the way you see it? Like, do you root for the black guy, even if he's from Africa or from whatever he might be, just as long as he's black? Do you have a preference for those? Be honest now.
No. If when Kome fought Teofimo, I like Teofimo's style. He's exciting. I was rooting for Teofimo.
Yeah, but he's not white. Teofimo's not white anyway. He's not really a white boy, is he? I mean, if Teofimo was
I'm also not Hispanic or Latino, so.
Well, let me ask you this, man.
Can I just say to him? The reason you're looking into things like this, because like I said, race is on your mind constantly. You're always looking away to play the victim. So you're looking at. We don't look at it like this. When we're not looking at. Well, he's the white boy. He's about Anthony Joshua when he fought Usyk in the UK. Now I don't remember many Brits cheering on Usyk that day. It's just you guys are just because you're obsessed with it. You're trying to look for things that are not there.
Well, Jimmy talked about that. Jimmy talked about that.
I don't need anything in your mouth. You do it for yourself. At the end of the day, every time I don't come in, every time I come on here, you're on here fucking whining like I'm down, fella. I'm sick of you already.
You said Wilder was going to destroy Fury too.
Yeah, I never said that.
Yeah, well, you said you were picking Wilder. And I just want to say one thing. It's just weird. I always say that it's not race related, but then when you go on Twitter, which is a vile fucking cesspool, but then you look at some really absurd comment about Lomachenko, and it's been retweeted 90 times, and you scroll down, and it must be a statistical anomaly that 99.9% of the dudes are black. It just must be a statistical anomaly.
Well, can I just say something here? I just want to say something. Red Breed. Can I say something?
I just stated a fact.
Hey, please, hold on a second. Yes,
please. In your own mind.
Please, hold on.
Dude, there's actually
Jimmy, please let me. Jimmy.
All right, BD, sorry, brother.
Listen, now here's the thing with Red Breed. I have to point a mirror at you. Like I said before, you don't know much about boxing, and then you go, well, I don't watch all the fights. Nobody said you have to watch all the fights. You just have to watch enough. Like put in the time that Jimmy has recognized Gonzalo. They've watched this sport for a while now. Number two, when you run out of arguments, you can go, oh, well, this is the Lomachenko fan club and start acting condescending. And then when people start getting irked, you go, why you mad? Well, they're mad because you're acting like you're the only one acting like a jackass around here. So you can't have it. Like you can't. You listen. Hold on. You have to stop playing the victim and saying, "Well, I'm just voicing my opinion." No, but yeah, because you're saying, "Well, I'm just voicing because you're saying I'm just voicing my opinion," and then you go, "Why are you getting mad?" So at the end of the day, you gotta listen. Redbreed.
We know, Mr. BDA.
Yeah,
we're wasting time here. We know why. Some people don't like Lomachenko. Like you said, Mr. BDA, he has one of the best resumes out there. He's fighting everybody. He's exciting. He's not clinching. He's not boring. And yet people still don't like the guy. So I think we know why they don't like the guy. So
well, can I just say that too? That Jimmy also said. Jimmy also said Jimmy made a good point. He pointed out to a study that says that when they ask ethnic groups what they identify as or what they consider to be the most important part of their identity, black people are the ones that uniformly or agreed more than any other. They said, well, blackness is my identity. So it's not surprised that that's why certain groups here and certain people here always look at when they look at boxing, they always go and say, well, it's about I'm rooting for the black guy.
Man,
it's about
if you let
race.
BDA finish first and then go ahead afterwards.
Yeah. So Mexicans, hold on, Mexicans, whites, Asians, they're not so obsessed with race as much as black people. And that's something that reflects what I've seen on YouTube and in real life and in the media. More than any other ethnic group, blacks are obsessed with race. So that's the reality, man. So we're gonna move on from the race talk. We're gonna move on from the race talk because every time we start, okay, guys, please. We're going to move on for the race talk because every time we start trying to talk boxing, Rare Breed turns it into something else. So we're going to move on because we talked about this enough. So let's go to move to something else, all right? Yeah, come on, listen. So let's add lack of responsibility to all the other list of all the other asshole behavior you've shown on this stream. Let's move on, man. Let's move on.
I just posted that polls, by the way, BDA. It's in the thing. The exact polls. 75% of blacks find their race extremely important. 15% of whites do.
All right.
And that was a poll of 100,000 Americans.
That's in the US, by the way.
In the US.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, with let's get it straight. That's the US where most of the whiny little fuckers are living. I mean, everything's about race with these fucking guys. Clowns, a lot of them. Can't be done with it. Come on here. No, let me fucking speak. Because you've been sitting there crying like a little bitch for about half an hour.
He wasn't. That wasn't Black Chibi. That wasn't Black Chibi.
In all fairness, I do want you to finish. Chibi's been waiting to talk for a little bit. It's not crying, man. Every time I cry,
it's another guy.
No, that's another guy, Stu. That's another guy.
It's not Chibi.
That's another guy.
Yeah, BDA, I just want to add something for the race thing. Earlier, when Dirk was talking about like white people cheering for Lomachenko because he's white. I'm an anthropology major, so I spend a lot of time like reading about race and all kinds of stuff like this. Like it's literally like this is what I study, this is what I do. And you'd be surprised, Dirk. A lot of Anglo Americans, which is the most predominant group of people in the United States, don't view Eastern Europeans as white. Same with, like, I'm assuming Jimmy's Italian because of his last name. A lot of people wouldn't even consider Jimmy white. And this is, I mean, more people are considering that now. But this is a very recent thing where, like, Italians, Greeks, Eastern Euros are considered white people. So they wouldn't
wait. Listen, can I say one more thing?
That's like it's almost like a non-argument.
Jimmy.
My quick question now.
It was only the swarthy Italians.
Let Chibi go. Let Chibi go.
No, hold on, Chief.
Let me talk.
Gonzalo's talking. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, Bucho's talking. Bucho. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do this. Stu and then Black Chibi, all right?
Listen, there's no other race on the planet of anybody. But you look at Wilder's entrance song. Everything was black. Everything black, this black. No other race is doing. No other race is coming out. Could you imagine a white guy coming out without fucking some Sieg Heil fucking
white excellence, white
supremacy,
white white baby,
yeah, I mean,
a white world. Let's do it.
Oh yeah,
let's do it.
Everything black. You fucking guys, man. And this is why. Listen, my last word, and then you can say because this is chaos. This is why no one's supporting your fighters because. Everything's about fucking race with them, and everyone's seeing through it. Even the Mexicans can see through it, and they're like standing at the side as like neutrals, and even they're saying these fucking black dudes, man. Want to stop whining like bitches for once, man.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. No, you can't. That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's where. Well, he's not talking. Well, he's not talking. He's not talking to you. He's talking about black people as a whole. Now, let me say this, man. I'm at that point where
that is
that's at the point I'm at where I'm done with the fucking race talk and the Mexican Black
You
Alliance.
started
I don't give
BDA.
a fuck. You
started the fire.
Yeah, that's you stupid idiot. I'm not talking about I'm tired of taking race right now. I'm talking as a whole. I'm saying I'm tired of black people trying to get Latinos on their side. You take care of your own issues, and if you want to do it by complaining all the time, go ahead. But I do believe King Bucho said Black Chibi had the floor.
You on our
Black
side?
Chibi, Black Chibi had the floor. All right, Black Chibi, go ahead.
Okay, I was hold on 1 second. What I was trying to essentially say this whole time now, Dirk, I'm just as black as you, bro, and I understand how I feel. Don't like fighters. Like I essentially don't, and I essentially don't like Canelo Alvarez, but I have my own personal reasons. But I'm trying to figure out what you not like, because I believe in the sweet science boxing. Like, why wouldn't you like Lomachenko? Because Lomachenko is like as of right now, especially in his weight class, he's the definition of sweet science. So
why do I have to like Lomachenko?
No, I'm just saying, why don't you like Lomachenko?
He's gonna answer with a question.
I do like Lomachenko. These dudes just they automatically assume because he's white, I don't like him.
Now, when you say that Salido is worse than Cruz,
yeah,
we were strictly talking about boxing.
Come on, man. No,
but then that's
about boxing, and then BDA went off and did a race talk.
But when you say that Salido is worse than Cruz,
what's that got to do with race?
No. We know where you're coming from. I've seen you in the chat, man. I've seen you on Discord.
Yeah, I mean,
I know what your topics are. I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, Rarebreed, you're the one that posted the other day on the Discord. Rarebreed, you're the one that posted on. You're the other one that posted on the Discord the other day a clip of Porter beating the shit out of Malignaggi, saying this is why Malignaggi hates black people. You really think Malignaggi hates black people? I mean, that's a definitive statement right there that you made. So anybody that see you jump to conclusions. These guys. So we're gonna do the same thing with you based on what we see. And we know where you're coming from. You're a low-key guy. You don't want to say it outright that you always root for the black guy. You're a pro-black guy. You're the one that comes here, makes it about race, and then says, no, you made it about race.
Times I'm pro-black.
And that's the other thing. And that's, well, there you go. Then the conversation is over. You're pro-black. You're pro-black.
That's not no secret.
Hey, LT. You want to be pro-black. That's it. That's pro-black. You're Pan-African. Yeah, there you go. You're Pan-African.
Hold on. This is the last thing I want to say.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. He admitted it. He admitted that he's pro-black. He admitted. Let's move on. He already admitted it. I mean, I understand what the problem is.
Fighting spirit.
I just want to make a point. I'm not going to disrespect nobody. I'm going to just say some truth. Remember when Paulie Malignaggi was speaking of his experience of how he's been abused by cops before, right? But still, that doesn't matter, though. Just ignore that, downplay that, and then just make the professional victim the spectacle. Everything he says doesn't matter, right?
All right, let's move on.
All right, let's move on. Rarebreed, do you understand English, man? When we say we're gonna move on and you keep adding to it.
I've been abused by cops.
All right. That's enough.
Guys,
That's
this is
enough.
second Renaissance talk. We're here
to
to talk boxing.
I was just making a point. How
we get it.
Hey, by the way,
guys, we cut off one hitter. I think we owe him because he was cut off in mid-sentence, started by me. I feel bad. I think we should give him his. You know what I mean? He was waiting, then I cut him off. Sorry.
What's up, Jimmy?
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks, Jimmy. Sorry.
There's a lot of flag.
Hey, what's going on? We said one hitter was going to talk, and then we said one hitter was going to talk.
I like Lomachenko. I think he is the shit, but he is too cocky. And Bob Arum was right when Lomachenko was like, I want to go for the title, my first fight, and Bob Arum's like, it doesn't work that way, because you've been fighting fucking amateurs your whole career. You want to fight pros. Like, it's not special. Like, if Floyd Mayweather would have not turned pro, he could have won a gold the next Olympics. Oscar De La Hoya could have won 2 Olympics if he would have stayed in the fucking amateurs and gone into the...
What do you mean? He didn't win gold. He won bronze.
I know. If he would have stayed in the amateurs and if he would have gone to the Olympics the next time, he would have won.
Yeah, maybe. We'll never know, though. Because that didn't happen. Let me read a super chat here.
Won gold. He probably would have won another gold.
Probably, yeah.
To turn pro.
Yeah, probably, man. We'll never know.
Lomachenko's
Shout out to.
the
Can I
only
just read
dude
that?
that stays in the amateurs and keeps trying to win another.
All right, we get it. We
Why
get
did
it. He
do
could
that?
have.
One hitter. There's very few people that have gone back that have won a second gold medal, and a lot of people have gone to two.
Why? There's no reason to do that.
It's just a different culture there, bro. I agree with you.
Well, no.
I think it's a culture thing.
Whoa. I'm talking. I've waited for 15 minutes. I'm talking.
God damn it, Chief Talk.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
You can't sit there and say, you can't sit there and make a point of like, if people they would have won a gold medal. And then I say, when I give you a fact that most of the people that actually do go back for a second Olympics don't win one. And then you kind of dance away from the topic. The fact is,
what is the
topic?
Who gives a fuck? No one gives a fuck. Who gives a no? Who cares? If say Lomachenko went back to amateur boxing, who's going to decide about it? No one gives a fuck about amateur boxing. Let's be real, they don't.
Yeah, exactly,
it's a culture thing. It's a culture thing in Europe, especially the old Soviet bloc. It was. See, it's a culture thing where they could go pro back in the day. It's only when So getting a gold medal for their country was their badge of honor. So you got to remember they fight for their country, where a lot of Americans and certain British fighters fight for themselves, and there's a difference, and there's just a culture thing. But who cares anyway if he goes back? It's amateur boxing.
All right, let's move on from that then. Let's move on from that because who gives a shit if he goes back? If he goes, first of all, and by the way,
I'm all about white excellence.
Hassan, by the way, Hassan and Dam as a professional went back to the amateurs. In the 2016 Olympics, I believe, and he lost. So just because you're a professional doesn't mean you can win in the amateurs.
It's a different kind of boxing, BDA. Amateur boxing and professional boxing is a lot of difference between it. I mean, certain styles are not going to work in the amateurs like they would in the pros. And it's just a different fighting altogether. It's like, and that's why the Cubans. That's why the Cubans do so well in the amateurs, because their style is built around a scoring system. But when you put them in when you stick them in a pro ring, they fucking stink the joint out, don't they? I mean, how many Cubans do you enjoy watching fight? Because I could count them on an amputated fucking hand.
The Cuban style of boxing is one of the best styles I ever seen. Like, I love it.
That is the biggest load of bollocks. That is the biggest myth, load of bollocks I've ever heard in my life. Cuban school of boxing. I tell you what, if that's boxing, if that's what the sweet science, then keep the fucking sweet science. Because I ain't about to fall asleep watching a fight. Rigondeaux stunk more joints out than him. Lara. That's not running and pop shotting your way. Running and pop shotting your way to a points win. It's not fighting to me. It's not fighting to me.
Rigondeaux understood the sweet science, and he was beautiful. Like, I thought he was a beautiful fighter. Like how he used to run around the ring and all that. It's just Lomachenko.
Hey, can I read a super chat here?
I mean, in my perspective, the sweet science is someone like Sweet Pea. He'll stand in front of you and make you miss.
Oh, I miss Sweet Pea, man.
Sweet Pea. The difference is Sweet Pea also had an offense. Also went for the kill when the opportunity came. Lara, fucking hell, man, that guy. I mean, Rigondeaux. He's like, what is he, featherweight or something? He throws 4 or 5 punches around. I mean, he should be put in prison for that.
Yeah, listen, today's Cubans are riding the coattails of the 70s Cubans. The 70s Cubans were nasty as fuck. Stevenson, I don't know if any of you guys remember him, the heavyweight Cuban fighter. That was the one guy Muhammad Ali used to say, fucking, I wish I would have fought him, because I think that would have been my hardest test in my prime. That dude was fucking great. I just wanted to say that.
Hey, can I read a super chat? Let me just read a super chat here from the. Can I read a super chat? Let me just read a super chat here, please, from the. Shout out to G Boogie for his contribution with the super chat. Says Devin Haney's father himself admitted he doesn't want his son to fight Lomachenko, and if they were to fight, you think Linares put Haney on Queer Street? Loma is going to knock him out. All right, shout out to G Boogie for his contribution with the super chat. Well, listen, let's get away from the whole amateur thing here for a moment. I want to talk about the other thing is Hrgovic. Apparently, he wanted to fight Tony Yoka. That ain't happening. Now some people are saying, I don't know, this is just a rumor. It's already 3-4 people that don't want to fight him. Now they're saying maybe Joyce could step in. Fellas, Is Hergovich that good? Is he a little overrated? Does Joyce beat him? What do you guys think? How does that go?
That's a good fight.
That's exciting. It's exciting.
That's a good fight. I'm going Joyce. I think Joyce beats him, but
I think he's a victim of the times.
Yeah, I've never been that impressed with Hergovich. I know when we was doing this show a couple of years back, some of the lads in the chat were talking about Hergovich like he was fucking Ivan Drago Mark II, and I just weren't seeing it.
Can I
say it?
Okay. Aaron T wants a chance to speak. Can he?
Yes.
Well, he just has to jump in.
Aaron, talk.
He just has to jump into the voice chat.
Yeah, you gotta jump in, Aaron. I don't know.
You gotta click on the speaker icon there that says on the voice channel.
Oh, okay. What I wanted to say mostly about Joyce versus Hergovich, I think Joyce stops him late. I think Hergovich gives him some problem in the early rounds, but once Hergovich starts to slow and Joyce starts to apply more pressure, I think he stops him late. Joyce is very physically strong. He has a very good chin.
He's a machine, man.
Yeah.
The thing is with Joyce, he just looks untidy on the eye, but he gets results with his style. I mean, he just wears you down, just keeps plodding along, doesn't he? And it's because he's hard man and he's got a granite chin. And his punches don't really look like they're doing much, but they're taking something out of you. Each one that's landing is taking something out of you. And that's what he's doing. He's grinding these wins out, and he's a very hard man to beat. And he comes at a pace. It's not like he's changing the pace. He's at a steady pace all through the fight, but it's constant. And for a heavyweight, I mean, it's a lot of these heavyweights haven't got the fitness or the stamina to cope with that sort of pressure.
He's got that like George Foreman sort of energy where it's like it doesn't look like there's anything in the shots, and then boom, like he just hurts people with them.
Yeah.
That's a great comparison, bro. That's what it's like. Obviously, George Foreman technically is a lot better, but he's got that sort of style where you don't think he's doing nothing special, but he's getting results. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's like breaking people.
Yeah, those jabs fucked up Dubois' face. Like he's a very physically strong, beefy man. Like if there's anything you can't take away from Joyce, he's fucking huge.
Yeah, you know the thing about
abominable snowman.
The thing about Joyce,
man, I like Joyce.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
But one more thing about Joyce is his fight with Takam, Carlos Takam. You know, Joyce usually does better with these upright heavyweights like Dubois. They have little head movement. They can't really get outside of Joyce's jab, and Joyce's jab may look like a very slow like balloon ball.
Ponderous.
Yeah.
Ponderous.
And
he times it very well though. He's timing with his jab. That's what's doing the work. It looks a sloppy jab, but because he's timing it, he's putting his opponent off the rhythm, and they're constantly having to reset. And when they're resetting, Joyce is just throwing punches. I mean, look, it's just horrible to watch at times, but he's effective and he's a very hard man to beat. That's the way I see Joyce.
It's like BDA was saying about Matthias. When you're relaxed and you just throw punches, it doesn't matter what the other guy's doing because you're consistently throwing in between the shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always looks relaxed too. He never looks stressed out or anything in the ring.
That's why I always thought AJ versus Joyce would be a good fight. When Joyce is ready, of course. Because Joyce, AJ is like very upright. He's very stiff. He barely moves his hips. Well, Sack McCracken.
In that fight, I see Joyce taking a good hiding for the first few rounds, getting smashed up. But eventually, he'll keep coming back. You know, Anthony Joshua gets to 5 and 6. The old fucking tank. He starts to go. He starts to look sloppy. You know, when you get tired, you lose your shape, and things don't just work. Things don't come as naturally, and you're fighting it. I find out with Joshua, he's constantly fighting his tank and his. And when you're tired, that's when you make mistakes. And I just think Joyce just constantly coming at Joshua. There's no way on earth Joshua can cope with that pressure. No way on earth.
Yeah,
he couldn't cope with that slob Ruiz's fucking pressure. And that guy could barely get in the fucking ring. He was that fat. Come on, man.
It's like Joshua's got them fake muscles, like, you know, not fake, but you know what I mean. The ones that bodybuilders have. And Joyce got like the power lifter type of muscles, the natural. You know, the natural muscles. That's also a difference.
You know what, man? When Joyce was going to fight, Dubois, a lot of people in this YouTube community were picking Joyce And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go for the underdog, even though officially he wasn't the underdog on the betting line. I said, let me go with Dubois because I think what he's gonna do is he's gonna land the clean shots, and if he goes 12 rounds, those clean shots are gonna get him the win. And he was tagging Joyce. The problem is Dubois is not seasoned enough to work a couple of tricks to go to 12 rounds. So the thing is,
I think with Dubois, I think he's a typical bully fighter where he looks $1 million when he's smashing someone all over the ring, but when he's getting it back, that's when he folds. Like, and you see it time and time again with fights. Deontay Wilder's another one. Deontay Wilder's sitting there twerking when someone's out calling the canvas, but as soon as someone puts it on him, he falls to pieces. He's fucking looking in shock, and he don't know what to do. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
A lot of these bully fighters don't have composure.
That's what I'm saying. Though. Real quick, if somebody can whack him with shots and stay away from his porous pressure, his slow shots and his pressure. Like, look, Usyk, I think he beat him in the World Series of Boxing, which was a 5-rounder. He's got the stamina and the experience to outbox him again in 12 rounds. A guy like Joshua, he would have to clinch his way to a 12-rounder. I don't know if he can do that. But
I think a small heavyweight gives Joyce his biggest problems.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. But I mean,
scary. This may be a hot take, and I think people will disagree, which they probably should. I think Michael Hunter on a very good night, not he's like motivated. He has the tools. I think he has a good chance of beating Joyce.
But man,
in the beginning, you're gonna win rounds against Joyce the way Daniel Dubois was. But as soon as you start getting tired, you're gonna drop down to the level of exchanges as far as the speed is concerned on the level of Joyce. So once you go into that territory where you're not as fast, dude, you're gonna fight at his pace. And when you fight at his pace, he's gonna beat you up.
This is it, Gonzalo. A lot of boxing fans, they don't really know what they're seeing in there. They like to see people get punched in the face, basically, but they don't know what they're seeing. I mean these clowns that had the audacity to come out and say Amir Khan was schooling Canelo for the first few rounds. Canelo was in second gear. He was carrying that fight. As soon as he upped the pace, Khan sleeping for a week. I mean, come on, man. People say that he was getting schooled by Amir Khan. No, he wasn't. He obviously had a game plan, sticking to it. That's the smart fighters. That's what they do.
Didn't he have to catch weight in that fight? Like it was at 155, like some straight bullshit, some shit. Like I forgot what was that. But like that fight was just irrelevant to me. Like,
but that's not the point he was trying to make, though. That's not the point he was trying to make.
Sorry.
No, it's well. Listen, I mean, when it comes to Joyce against Hrgovic, I think that would be two fucking behemoths going at it, and it would be an interesting fight. Yeah. By the way, shout out to
here's the scary thing, BDA, about go ahead, the super chat.
Yes, please. Shout out to G Boy for his contribution, but the super chat says TOW Choice. Sometimes his boxing ability are just like his phallus helmet that he wore of a costume horrendous. His style is consistent. Who wore a phallus helmet?
But the thing is, in professional boxing, the one that looks the prettiest when he's in the ring is not always the one that's going to come through. I mean, look at when you come to skills and technician, like Bute Froch, prime example. Froch is sloppy, footwork all over the place, swings wild shots, just looks ugly on the eye at times. Bute looked quite nice and smooth, had loads of rhythm. Look how that fight went. Do you know what I mean? It's just people they see a bit of footwork and a slick jab, and they get too excited these days. I mean, some of these guys that look terrible on the eye, you get in there with them, and you just realise how hard they are to beat. And I think Joyce is one of those guys.
You know why also? Because the scary thing about Joyce is that he's consistent. That means he probably has great stamina. And when you have great stamina and you got heavy hands, we were talking about it, like with Salido, but just imagine like a Chisora. We know he's an exciting fighter and he's a pretty good fighter because he applies the pressure. But just imagine if Chisora had greater power like Joyce. So what I'm trying to say, when you got a guy that's got good stamina and has got heavy hands, he's like a Chisora on steroids in the sense that he keeps bringing it and he keeps tapping you with a lot of power. Yeah.
And the power comes from the same thing George Foreman. Like if you look at George Foreman, look back at his videos when he's doing narrating, commentating, he's holding a microphone up. His wrist is fucking huge. They have huge tendons. And he did a stepping punch. Kind of George leans into it too, Joyce, but it's big tendons. That's why their power is just like it doesn't look like it should hurt as much as it does.
And when you're tired and you're getting pushed back by just those heavy taps, it's enough to rock you off your axis where you can't gain your balance. Just imagine you're tired and somebody's just nudging you, and then all of a sudden hit you a little bit harder than what you're expecting. That will make you go all over the ring.
Yeah.
That's why these guys. That's why them sort of fighters. They're always in the fight, even when they look like they're getting their ass whooped. They're always in the fight because, like I said, they used to being hit because obviously people like Joyce is defensively vulnerable for me, but he's got a granite chin that bows around. Same with Froch. Froch used to stand square on with his chin in the fucking air. And if he didn't have a good chin, he'd be in a coma still. The shots he's took, right? These guys are tough, and obviously they're sloppy, but they keep plodding along, and and they're very tough people to beat. That's what I mean. The skills pay the bills. No, it does. Skills don't pay the fucking bills. Winning fights does.
Yep. Can I add on to your point a bit, Stu?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah. When people like underestimate fighters that don't look that good, like on the eye test at least. Another fighter that comes to my mind when you say that is Dillian Whyte. People are like, "Oh, he looks very awkward when he turns his hips. Oh, he got hurt by Hellenius." Like, I feel like they're underestimating Dillian Whyte's fighting ability as well. He isn't just
I agree with you. I think with Dillian Whyte, he looks very.
The stamina's not there.
He looked very green. Like his feet are in the wrong places. He's swinging shots at the wrong times. It just looks all over the shop. But there's times in there where he gets it right and he looks world class. I mean, he looks like Dillian Whyte's a fighter that's still learning for me, and I think that's the problem. But he's made so many mistakes in there. That's why he gets knocked out because in heavyweight boxing you cannot be falling short with your feet in the wrong air, with your chin in the air, and your feet in the wrong places. And this is what he does. He's got a nice left hook. Many times that God help you. But this is the thing. I mean, even though he's not the most skilled fighter, he's quite amateurish the way he fights at times. But he's still a decent fighter. Can beat anyone on their day. That's what professional boxing, not like amateur, but you're always in with a shot if you've got the will to win and the toughness, and that could get you through. Look at Marcus Maidana. Who would have thought Marcus Maidana would have caused Floyd all those problems? That was will, determination, and pressure.
I honestly don't see Joyce beating the likes of Frank Sanchez though. Like I think that would be a nice fight right there.
Hey, by the way,
Joyce stops Frank a bit late.
Marcos Maidana, Joyce, Orlando Solito. The correlation that I can make between all those fighters is that those dudes got a good gas tank, and 70% of like boxing on that night, if you show up in shape, can beat skills. Now the difference between the other guy that you mentioned, what's the heavyweight with the good left hook, the guy that you mentioned, Dillian Whyte. He's a good fighter, but he crumbles in the sense that he could be winning a fight, then he'll fall apart in the next round. Like the guy that fought Jermell Charlo, what's his name? Yeah, the stamina's there, but then all of a sudden the next round it cannot be there.
You're right, Gonzalo. He'll lose his shape, and he'll start to panic. But the thing in boxing, if you start losing your shape and start panicking, then you're in trouble because you can't be falling short with your fit square on and stuff like he does. I mean, look. Fighters like Dillian Whyte will always get knocked out eventually. Someone will stop them. You can't make
an uppercut for him. So everybody.
You could be looking like $1 million. You could be looking like $1 million, but you're just praying to God and you're just holding it together like with all your will that you're just gonna make it to the next round. But all of a sudden you fall apart because you're giving it your best effort to keep it together, but you don't have the conditioning to go the 12 rounds, and that's why you fall apart. It's not because he doesn't have the skills, because he just doesn't have the stamina to pace himself according to what the other fighters bringing.
Man. I mean, can I just say something about that? Can I just say something about that?
How do you feel about?
I'm just going to say, there's nothing more disheartening as well as a fighter when you're sticking it on someone, hitting them with the best shots you've got, and they just keep coming forward and piling the pressure on. And this is the problem with a lot of fighters. They start to panic, they lose the shape, and that's when they're in trouble. I mean, that's what I mean. If you haven't got... Go ahead, bro.
No, I was going to ask you because since we're talking about heavyweights, what about the new prospect, Jared Anderson? How do you guys feel about him right now?
I like Anderson. I like him a lot. He's got the personality which is lacking right now in the American heavyweight division. And I think he's pretty good to watch.
Yeah, no, I think he's a blue chip prospect. I think
hopefully he doesn't turn into another baby Miller and test positive for like 4 substances, man. Hey, but can I just say something real quick? Because I wanted to introduce this subject before, because I'm curious to get your opinion on this. It seems like people are saying they've been saying it for the past 2 weeks now that Jermall Charlo might get the lottery ticket and fight Canelo Alvarez. Now, some people are saying, well, Charlo has no shot. Even the people that were giving him a shot before and they were saying, oh, Canelo's avoiding Charlo. Now they're saying, well, they're starting to become ambivalent. What do you guys think? Does Charlo?
Because now there's a chance. You know why? Because now there's a chance of a fight happening. So now they're changing the tunes.
But that's the thing, though. So I've been rewatching.
I did my research on this, and I heard that because the last fight that Mukabe had fought, with that one guy, he had contract with Don King, and they saying that no, before you fight Canelo Alvarez, you're gonna have to fight what's called again, do the rematch clause. So now they're saying that it's negotiations. So he's trying to be in negotiations with Charlo, and I heard that the fight is happening, but we don't. I don't have no facts right now that it's happening. That's why I didn't know on it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But that's the thing. If it happens, like I don't know what you guys think about this, but Charlo is nothing that Canelo hasn't seen before. He's fought guys like Jacobs. He's fought power punchers like Golovkin. He's fought guys that move like Lara, Trout, and Billy Joe Saunders and Kelly Plant. So
I think,
go ahead, Pucho. Go
ahead. I think Charlo's way more explosive than Daniel Jacobs.
You think so?
More precise, more sharp.
It's got a better.
If Charlo go in that fight fighting like how he used to fight, and don't go in there like how he fought his last fight, Charlo wins hands down. But if he go in there fighting like how he did his last fight, I don't see him winning. And I want him to win. Like, I am rooting for him like 110%.
Yeah. I agree with you, bro. I actually like Charlo, but I think he gets knocked. Charlo gets stopped in that fight.
Is that 168?
Yeah,
it would have to be. Yeah.
So it'd be his first fight up at 168 too, and he's going to take on Canelo. Thank God, because I was hearing the name. Honestly, know what I was hearing being thrown around seriously, just to keep him in house, to keep him with the PBC, was Anthony Jarrell.
Oh fuck!
Talk about taking the fucking wind out of the way. Yeah.
What about
what's
Caleb
that?
Plant? Caleb Plant. He's been calling out Charlo, and Charlo has been talking shit about Caleb Plant as well. I don't know why that fight hasn't.
Charlo versus Caleb is a good fight.
I don't really want to see that fight, but if that fight were to happen, he would have to knock out Caleb Plant to get everybody's attention, saying that he beat Caleb Plant way better than Canelo did. So what y'all got to say now? That's the only thing that's going to really essentially happen. If he and then on top of that, I think Caleb Plant is the better boxer when it comes to like the sweet science, but Charlo could knock him the hell out though.
Yeah, but Charlo gets tagged up quite a bit, too much for me, and especially when they're training at mid range, that's where Canelo's at his best. Canelo knocks Charlo spark out. I mean, I'll put my house on that.
That's what Fernando Montiel's cousin did pretty much. He just soaked up some punishment, let Charlo get off, and then when he was in position to punch to counter, Montiel reacted and hit Charlo back, and he was getting his get back. So I mean, Canelo could do the same. I hope that Charlo shows up in the shape he did against Deveryachenko, because that was his most impressive performance.
Gonzalo, I just think with Charlo, I think Charlo has been falling victim to this PBC curse, where Jimmy keeps saying, because these boxers keep fighting lower level opposition, they don't shine, man. They don't have to. But if you look at Charlo when he fought Deveryachenko, he looked way different than when he fights all these bums, man.
Yeah, he was he's hot and cold.
I think that Charlo would win that fight. The reason why Charlo is going to win that fight, I think that Canelo will bring the best out of Charlo, because when it's like when he go against bums, he fights like them. You know what I'm saying? But when he going against somebody good, it's like he's upgrading, like he's transforming.
When has he ever gone up against anyone of Canelo's level though? Whenever he was in there going toe to toe. Look, he was going to war with Derevchenko. Canelo Alvarez is a different animal. I mean, them shots that were hitting Derevchenko, they're not hitting Canelo. And the thing is, you fall a little bit short with Canelo, you're getting your head taken off.
Okay,
simple as that.
When Derevchenko fought Triple G, and I'm pretty sure they fought. Let's be honest here. Triple G lost that fight.
That was a shadow. That Triple G was shot to pieces, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. So like I'm saying, so if Derevchenko did Triple G like that, you know what I'm saying? And
this is 40-year-old flu-ridden Triple G.
That kind of
I don't do triangle theories. I don't do triangle theories. Stars make fights and stuff. Look, that Golovkin was a shadow of the man that fought Canelo in the first fight. And Canelo is a much better fight now. Canelo's moved on. That fight with Golovkin in the first one was the best thing he ever did. Take that fight. All right, I had him losing, but it made him the fighter he is today. He learned so much from that, and he's a much better fighter. Look, Charlo gets knocked out, I'll put my fucking house on it.
Get out, man. You're gonna be shitting your pants if you bet your house on that fight, man.
Listen, the reason why I think
Charlo Canelo. Come on, do you want to believe Charlo beats Canelo?
No.
Well, listen what I'm saying. This is the reason why I think Charlo's going to win, because Canelo is going to bring the best out of Charlo, and that's why he would win that fight.
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say to you, bro. It's still not going to be good enough.
No, that's the problem. He's just not good enough. Charlo's lost the most.
Canelo could bring the best out of me. I'm getting knocked the fuck out in the round. It don't matter, does it?
Steve Kim wrote in an article about Charlo. I don't know if you guys remember. Like, somebody went back and watched all his fights. First off, at 160, he did nothing but spent Derevchenko, and that Triple G fight did him in. But he loses a lot of rounds. Actually. A lot of the fights, if you go back and watch his knockout stops, he was losing most of those rounds, and he's caught somebody. So it's to Stu's point. At his best, what has he got? She's not showing Canelo anything that he hasn't seen a bunch of times. He's kind of a 1-2 puncher, you know what I mean? He's got some length on him, but he's going to go up to 160. Yeah, in those 24 rounds against Triple G has made him a killer.
Jimmy, also, what Butcho said was spot on as well. The thing is, when you're stuck in a gear fighting guys that you're much better than levels, but when you're in there with someone that's levels, but you just can't raise your game. Boxing, you can't just turn it on. This is what people think. You can just go in a ring, turn it on when it's not going right. Now, this is why fighters lose fights and you have upsets, because they've cut corners in camp. They're not at their best, and they go in there not prepared. When they go in there with someone that's ready to, they can't change the gears. You can't up the gears like that.
Well, can I say something about that? Can I say something about? Can I say something about that? Yeah, because but can I say something about that? Can I say something about that?
BDA, very quickly, BDA. Go ahead.
Oh, you want to go or?
Oh, you.
Okay, well, Charlo. We talk about Charlo bringing his best, and I agree. Like, maybe that Montiel fight and the Korborov fight, maybe he wasn't at his best, but we don't know. All I know is that I saw him eat a lot of flush shots in those fights. The scorecards for the Montiel fight were outrageous. Two judges only gave him 2 rounds, I think, to Montiel, and I think one only gave him 1 round. So it didn't reflect how difficult that fight was for Charlo. And, let's say he was inconsistent. Let's say he had 2 off nights in those fights. Well, guess what? Oftentimes, when you're inconsistent that way, in your fights, you're also going to be inconsistent in the ring against a seasoned fighter like Canelo. Does Charlo have the creative punching to take Canelo out of his game? Because guess what, man? Canelo has great defense. I know people like to say that his upper body movement he's very hard to catch. So when Charlo fought a guy like Derevchenko for the most part, he's right there. He blocks shots and he tries to use little steps back. But for the most part, just like in the Golovkin fight, just like in the Jacobs fight, just like in the Colkin fight, he's there to be hit. Charlo did what he had to do, but it wasn't anything that made you go, whoa, he put on a masterful performance.
What Canelo does, he sort of stalks you. First few rounds, he's not really doing anything, but he's hard to land on. And the thing is, he gets these fighters confused, and where they don't know what to do, so they're not doing anything. And this is the problem. It's all it's not even the physical presence he's got. It's it's his style and the way he fights. Like you said, he's bobbing and weaving. He's hard to hit clean. He's a good counter puncher. He does everything well, and he just comes, sits forward, gets behind them gloves and stalks you. And a lot of fighters fold.
But also, but the thing is, Charlo is going to come at him because Charlo already know that he's the A side. So Charlo is going to come at him. Charlo's going to come at him like how Triple G came at him. He's going to come out swinging.
No. Charlo don't punch as hard. Charlo punches nothing like Golovkin. Charlo punches nothing like Golovkin. Golovkin in his prime, one of the biggest punches in boxing. If he can't,
what I'm saying is,
how's Charlo going to do it?
I ain't saying he punches like Golovkin. I'm saying that he's going to come at him like Golovkin. He's going to be on him.
You're absolutely wrong, Black Chibi. Let me explain to you. He punches like Golovkin. Probably he hits similarly as hard, but the style is completely different. Charlo is a counter puncher, meaning he's waiting for the opportunity for you to make a mistake. Because the less mistakes the less mistakes he makes, he's pretty much waiting for you to make yours first, so he can counter you back. And
exactly.
that way he's not.
One thing we can all agree on.
One thing, last thing, Stu. That way he's not getting risk of getting knocked out. That's why he fights like that.
Yeah. One set recognized. One thing we can all agree on is Charlo hasn't got the chin that Golovkin's got. Now, Golovkin, right, the reason he gave Canelo all them problems, because he was walking through Canelo's shots. Charlo's not going to be doing that. He's going to be feeling those shots. He's going to be getting hurt, and that's when you see what
we never seen Charlo get knocked out before. Like, how you know if he can't really take a
We've seen him get buzzed. We've seen him get buzzed.
That's why. Whack out of here, man.
Doesn't he also get rocked also by Montiel?
Was that Ultimate?
Didn't he also get rocked by Montiel, or was that a balance thing?
I think that was more he was tired. He was tired in that fight. Because here's what happened in the Montiel fight. The guy stunned Montiel in the 6th. Then he went all out and ended up emptying his tank. And he never really fully got his second wind. And those are the type of mistakes that you wouldn't see a guy like Canelo make at this point. And by the way, let's keep it in perspective. Charlo and Canelo, they're both the same age. There's a big gulf between them in terms of experience. 30. I mean, let's look at Charlo's best wins. Davidachenko and Julian Williams. The Williams win was in 2016. That's going to be 6 years.
It hasn't aged well.
It hasn't aged well. And the Davidachenko fight, but then Davidachenko was coming off a loss. It's still a good win, but compared to all what Canelo has done, and then on top of that, what threw Charlo off more than anything in that Montiel fight was Montiel was very hard to hit. He had a underrated defense. Now, what do you think is going to happen when he fights Canelo? Like right there, is he going to be able to figure that defense out? He needs to keep pumping that jab against Canelo. And even then, I don't know if it's enough because he couldn't do it against Montiel.
He's a back foot boogeyman.
But listen, let's just be honest here though. Charlo been sitting here stalking freaking Canelo for years now. I'm pretty sure he's been watching this fight and everything.
Here we go. Hold on. Chibi, that's factually wrong. Listen, Chibi, that's wrong, dude. Charlo, his own brother, went on Instagram to say, I would have never turned down that Canelo fight. Listen, he claims I didn't get it. It must have been Al Heyman. Bullshit. Every fucking thing is brought to the fighter. He turned down a career high payday. Stop that bullshit, dude. It was never so all of it. Yeah, he's chasing Canelo, but fights Montiel the other times. Listen, they've been waiting. And another thing, he's a back foot boogeyman. He's not a fucking come forward fighter like that. He's a counter puncher. He's not. You know what I mean? He's going to be trying to catch Canelo coming in.
So y'all telling me that Charlo has no chance of being Canelo at all, like no chance.
Let me ask you, bro. Charlo couldn't take care of fucking Fortuna or whatever his name is, Figueroa or.
Wait,
what was his last opponent?
It's a yes or no question. Y'all telling me
he's got a chance. He has got a chance. It's called absolute zero.
No, come on. No, but listen. Let LT go. LT, go ahead.
What was Charlo's last opponent, bro? I forgot his name. What was it?
Montiel.
Montiel, thank you, recognize. If Charlo couldn't knock out that guy named Montiel, bro, which Jaime Munguia knocked out way long ago within the third round, what makes you think he can knock out Canelo, bro, or even stop him or get him in any kind of trouble?
Chibi.
I think, all right, the reason why I think that he could, because at the end of the day, he didn't knock out
Hold on, I can't hear what he's saying.
Hold on. All right, so he didn't knock out Matthias. Granted, he didn't. But like I said, you feel me? His knockout ratio is pretty high. He could knock out Canelo. Like he could literally.
Ratio, Mr. Pretty High.
He's got a chance. He's got to catch him with the right shot. And like BDA mentioned, the way to beat Canelo is basically employing that jab like Golovkin did.
Yeah.
If you don't want to risk a lot by throwing a lot of right hands, well, work behind your jab, set up your punches.
Exactly.
Black Chibi, how many? Black Chibi, how many knockouts does Charlo have?
Hold on, let me check right fast.
Yeah,
like 22.
Yeah, so you're basically talking out of your ass when you say high knockout
He's got
ratios,
22 knockouts in 32 fights, I think.
Well, recognize. What do you think? Let me ask you. I'm curious. I want to hear from recognize. Recognize, because obviously everyone has a chance when they step into the ring. What do you think about Charlo's chances? Like 20%, 50-50, 60-40? What are you talking about?
Like a 10 to 20%. Look, he has a shot. Canelo could have a bad night. Who knows? And Canelo did have a little problems with Caleb Plant, but don't ask me to bet my fucking money on that shit. Hell no. I got probably stopping them in the later rounds. You know what I'm saying?
So I just looked him up. He 32 wins with 22 knockouts. So
he could knock. Yeah, he got power. I'm not saying he don't got power.
Yo, but it ultimately, I think another big thing that nobody ever talked about with Canelo is Canelo's got he's got mind games on people in the sense that people are scared of him. Like nobody wants to trade with Canelo. Like nobody sits on their punches with Canelo. No one, because they're scared of getting hit by him. He's got spells, weaving spells in there. Yeah, the guy that beats Canelo is a guy that is not afraid to trade with Canelo. A guy who's athletic, who can jab, and is willing to catch potential.
Now, if Charlo
going to come in there,
I don't know, because I think Charlo's going to get scared because we've seen Charlo both a couple times. I think he's going to, and he's a counterpuncher. So if he's not going to try to trade with Canelo, nobody tries to trade with Canelo. Nobody. The only person who ever tried to do that shit was Triple G. And even then, Canelo just doesn't get hit, man. Like if you even go back and watch all the fights, Canelo just doesn't get hit clean. He doesn't. It's very, very rare.
Very hard. Great defense. Let's take a look at fucking. I just want, real quick. His 160 pounds. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights in that weight class. All right, his first one was a fucked up bad leg gatekeeper in Sebastian Heelan. The next guy he fought was a dude he dragged up from 154 pounds, was ranked 56th in the division, in Cento, and then Karbov, he went life and death with, too, by the way, Matt Karbov. And then the next fight, he dragged another dude up from 154 pounds and went all 12 with. The next one, that's when he dragged, and he dragged another dude up. That's right, Dennis Hogan, he dragged him up from 154 pounds and fucking TKO'd him. But see, you look at his fucking resume, dude, it's atrocious. I mean, he's fighting guys, none of them in the top 10. He's bringing them all up from smaller divisions. Some of them he's not stopping. I'm just saying, what are you seeing that makes you think he's going to give someone like Canelo a hard time?
Jimmy, I think he's like Kirkland.
You know what? What I see is I see Charlo knocking him out. I was wrong with the Caleb Plant thing. I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I thought he was going to catch him by round 11, and I will take that L. But Charlo's knocking him out, dog. I don't see Charlo.
That's your heart talking. That's your heart talking.
Yeah.
It's not my heart. I swear. On my heart. Listen.
Admitting your heart talk, Black TV. Come on. I'm brother Charlo knocks out Canelo. Is that what you're saying?
I've been a Charlo. I've been a Charlo fan since he had knocked out Hurd. Now, all I'm saying is,
J-Rock,
like, do you hate Denver?
Hold on. Okay, Chibi, you made your point. Let's let other people talk here now.
BDA, hold on.
Let me get a
Black
chance to get a
TV, do
comment
you
in there
hate
when there's a
ginger? Yes or no, Black TV?
Come on, we already heard from Black Chibi. Hold on, let somebody else.
A chance. The way I think people can get to a fighter can get to Canelo, probably. This is just my suspicion. Go to the body, because since Canelo likes to move his waist, he stays pliable around the midsection to be able to stay relaxed and move his waist to duck punches. You can catch him in the stomach when he's not tense, because he's tensing up the top of his body. He's shelling up. He's covering his face, but the waist, the torso remains pliable. Hit him there. I know that Julio Cesar Chavez was a great body puncher, but he himself didn't like it to the body. When Frankie Randall was going to Julio Cesar Chavez's body, he didn't like it. So what I'm saying, if you can't get to Canelo's chin, hit him in the torso. And I think that Charlo's got a good straight punch to the breadbasket. Maybe not the shovel hook, but I would go to Canelo's body if I'm Jamal Charlo. Sorry.
Nobody ever goes to Canelo's body. They just try to headhunt the whole time, and it never works.
But didn't Triple G try to do that in the second fight? Or
No, unfortunately, no, he didn't. And the reason being is it's Canelo's style. He's front foot heavy. He puts his front foot out, and he kind of pulls back at his waist, and he twists at the waist, keeps his elbows tucked. And what happens when you're going to put yourself in a position to throw a body shot on him, especially a lead body shot, you could do it a straight punch, maybe to the solar plex, but you try to start digging down in his body. Yeah, exactly, brother. That's the only way to attack his body. Other than that, you get knocked the fuck out. He's going to catch you.
A straight punch to the body could work. Because if there's 5 places a fighter can get hurt or knocked down, is a straight to the body, a left hook to the liver, or a right or left hook to the side of the chin or to the front of the chin. Those are the 5 places. Any other punch will stagger you. Like the temple shot will stagger you. But to either side of the chin, the front of the chin, the liver, or the center of the solar plexus, those shots will knock you out. Like he did against his brother.
Now that I think about it, maybe the Charlo style could, like that counter punching style could beat what's not, because let's be honest, because Canelo is mostly like a boxer puncher. He's moving around, swagging around the ring. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that counter style could be beat Canelo on the rest.
Canelo was a boxer puncher 4 years ago. He is completely morphed between the GH he got in Germany and those 24 rounds with Triple G. He is now a stalker. He's waiting. He's getting his timing, reading it, and now he's just looking to take your fucking head off. That's Canelo tastes like going to cocoon after Triple G. I'm telling you, he fights completely different. Steve wrote a good article about that. Completely different fighter now.
A lot of these guys that could fight Canelo, they're messing themselves up here because instead of like honing their craft, they're waiting and they fight subpar opposition. I look at Caleb Plant. Like Caleb Plant is gifted boxer, but he just fought a bunch of fucking bumps, and because of that, he got knocked out. He wasn't. It's steel sharpened steel, and these guys over here, it's like iron on iron and bronze. It's like they're fighting bronze, and they should be fighting iron. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they're messing themselves up, and they should be fighting each other because Canelo's the A side. You can't. I don't like these guys aren't A sides. They're even lucky to be in the ring with the guy. You know what I'm saying? But these guys they keep ducking each other and they fight fucking nobodies. And then they get knocked out by Canelo, who's like fighting everybody. You know what I'm saying? That this is it. These guys aren't practicing.
All right, now I want to hold on, Gonzalo, please. I want to let the Ultimate Field, Jet, Kyle, and T1 have wanted to talk. But Ultimate Field, go ahead, and then we'll go to the gamut. Go ahead, Ultimate Field.
Yeah. A couple of things that I want to say about Charlo and versus Canelo. One thing that I can see about Canelo stopping Charlo in the mid rounds ish. BDA mentioned of how when Charlo went crazy on Montiel, he gassed out. But we know Canelo is really good at attacking the body. We've seen this against Lara. We've seen this against Kovalev. He has a very good counter to the body. I think that if he stalks Charlo, keeps on getting him scared and keep on going to the body so his head will crumble, I can see a stoppage for Canelo.
Oh.
But one thing I don't see people talk about when we talk about 168 and Canelo, in his fight with Caleb Plant, Canelo had to take breaks for some rounds.
Yes.
And remember that one time to the ropes, he egged Plant to come up, but Plant just tapped his body with jabs. That's why I thought Plant couldn't beat Canelo. He didn't have the offensive skills to do it.
That's a great point, Ultimate Field. Can I just say something real quick? Yeah, that's a great point. He's like Tank Davis. so far he's allowed to, throw in 400. That's the other thing. Canelo only throws about 300 punches or 400, maybe a little bit more than Tank Davis. And he just relies on, hey, let me just throw one shot here, one shot there, and he breaks these guys down. What happens if he fights a guy like Golovkin, like he did with Golovkin, he can't break him down? Like against Jacobs,
But that's good.
Yeah.
That's good, BDA. That's good. You know why? Here's the thing why this is good. And I just recently started thinking about this. Because why throw like a lot of shots if when you throw a lot of shots you make more mistakes, but you got to analyze your opponent. If your opponent doesn't throw a lot of shots either, then therefore as long as you throw a little more than he does, then you're gonna beat him because the less mistakes you're gonna make, because he's also trying to do the same thing. He's trying to wait for you to make a mistake.
That's
so
a good
don't
point.
don't throw a little bit, but just throw enough where you're throwing more than he is. Because now the game changes. You're waiting to see who makes the more mistakes and is taking your pieces like chess,
That's a good point, Gonzalo. I hadn't seen it that way. I mean,
I'm not finished, so can I do one final point?
Please, yes.
Sorry, my friend. Sorry, I apologize.
Oh no. I like your analysis, Gonzalo. I like your analysis. One thing about Canelo I see is when they said about nobody wants to trade with Canelo, they don't want to do it because if you trade with them, you're going down. Nobody sits there and throws their punches. That we've seen that with Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev is supposed to be this bully, the crusher, but every time he wanted to plant his feet and throw the ultimate right hand, Canelo would just counter. And that's why I think that if Charlo wants to, stand still and seeing his, latest performance, I think if Charlo does what he did to Montiel, if he overextends, I see a straight right across his chin and Charlo to the floor. That's what I see.
All right. I think it was T1. Yeah, go ahead. T1.
Bottom line, guys, I think this fight ends disastrously for Charlo like it did for James Kirkland.
James Kirk, all right. And Jed,
Now you
Jed,
just saw my dog.
I don't know if Jed wanted to say something. I don't know if Jed wanted to say something.
I got something to say.
Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Well, I can hear you
it's
barely.
not that easy.
It's Gonzalo. Jed wanted to say.
It's good. I don't think the other. Oh, everyone can hear me on here. I think is my like volume
We
down?
can hear you. Yeah.
Hear me all right? Or...
We can hear you, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All good. So what's the fight, Charlo and Canelo? Is that what?
Yeah.
Is that what?
That's what we discussed.
Yeah, I don't really. Charlo just hasn't fought enough good competition to even.
Exactly. And all these guys, man. Wasted talent, man. It's wasted talent.
It's not even worth breaking down styles, this and that. Charlo's just not ready for this jump. You can't go from Montiel. Was that the lad's name that he fought last time?
Yeah.
That club fighter. You can't go from him to Canelo. Pound for pound, top three at the least. That's just too big a jump in competition.
So I guess the question then now becomes: would you guys rather see him fight Benavidez then?
Yes. That's what he has to do, brothers. He needs to sharpen his fucking tools.
But you know what? You mean Charlo BDA? Yeah, 100%. I would rather see that.
Wait, Charlo versus Benavidez or Canelo versus Benavidez?
Canelo
Charlo versus Benavidez.
No, I meant
Charlo fight Benavidez.
Canelo Benavidez.
Benavidez not. He should have fought Caleb Plant, and the winner should have fought Canelo.
Yeah. But none of these guys want to fight each other. That's like I'm saying, man. It's like they're just waiting. They're wasting their talent. They're wasting their youth. They won't fight each other. It's
Bivol and Beterbiev. They aren't fighting.
Dave is a cokehead.
But I mean, that's what I was gonna ask. Why was Benavidez about to fight Uzcategui, a guy that was coming off a loss? I mean, is that the type of matchmaking they got over the PBC? Like, they should have made the Benavidez Caleb Plant fight in 2020, 2019. I don't understand why they're waiting so long to make these fights.
Nobody wants to fight
David.
David.
The question. They're looking for the payday. They want the Canelo payday. All these guys want the Canelo payday.
Yeah, didn't Andrade admit he only wants a payday against Canelo? He admitted it himself.
The reason now Heyman and the PBC don't do that, BDA, is because you allow Charlo and Plant to continue being winners by themselves. See, they continue being winners, and eventually who's washing dishes? Who's washing dishes in the background? It's fucking annoying.
Benavidez will get stopped under 5.
Guys, here's the thing. We need boxing to go back to where it was in the 80s, where we had Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler fighting each other. These guys have no heart, man. They don't have desire. They don't want to fight each other, man.
Yeah, none of them. None of them will fight each other. Not a single one.
You allow them to you allow them to continue winning by themselves, then they keep being pushed as like an independent superstar. Plant's a superstar, Charlo's a superstar, but they never cross paths, so they're making money, and a lot of times they're conserving their own. And you see how Heyman doesn't want to put these guys to fight each other because then one guy gets canceled out and one guy moves on to continue being a superstar while the other guy gets put on the back shelf. But you gotta do this, right? At some point in time, you gotta cross paths, and it's taking too long for that to happen, and that's not good for the sport.
And the only reason why Plant got the fight, brother, to your point, is because he had that belt. That's the only reason why Canelo fought him. He wanted the belt. That's the plan over there, dude. Backdoor yourself, take on the, hopefully grab yourself a backdoor junior fucking belt or whatever, so you're next in line. I mean, look at if you follow how Plant even got that belt, it's he didn't what did he take out Ugasaki or whatever that dude's name is? So, but man, Charlo wasn't ready for that shit, dude. He hasn't fought the competition. Never mind the fucking nerves. A fight of that magnitude for him would be rough for first time. I'd be almost mean putting him in with Canelo next. That's just my.
But Jimmy, but as far as like people's careers, but it's okay still. It's okay. You know why it's okay? Because even if you lose like Barrios or Keith Thurman, you can still sail into the sunset because they're gonna put on a pay-per-view and they're gonna make money because they're charging the public $74.99. So in the end of the day,
that's if anybody's buying it, dude. Right?
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah, nobody's gonna buy
it. Listen, that thing's probably gonna do about 25,000. Dude, no, you're not. Stop it. You're gonna buy Thurman Barros, $75 fucking dollars.
I thought you were talking about the Charlo versus
no, of course. Canelo, no, of course.
I'm gonna wait till the other boys last year. Y'all already know what I'm gonna do. I ain't got time for that.
Right? Nobody does. That thing's gonna lose money. I mean, what did Ortiz do? 25,000?
Maybe.
That Ortiz fucking Martin fight? Come on. That shit barely covers costs.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question. Speaking of pay-per-views, Jimmy, I got a question regarding pay-per-views.
I wouldn't be surprised if Barrios win that fight, man.
Jimmy, I got a question.
If Barrios goes to the body to Keith Thurman,
Jimmy, I got a question regarding pay-per-views. I got a question regarding pay-per-views, Jimmy. I'm looking at the schedule here from ESPN. It says Las Vegas, Fox pay-per-view, Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios, February the 5th. At the same time, February the 5th, same date rather, Fox pay-per-view as well, Cesar Quetzal and Visa versus Carlos Cuadras. Is that the same card or are those two different Fox pay-per-views? What's going on here?
Wait a minute. What's the other pay-per-view?
Maybe Friday and Saturday, BDA?
No, it says February the 5th. It says February the 5th, Cesar Quetzal and Visa versus Carlos Cuadras. Did they make a mistake?
Oh my God!
Anybody know if they made a mistake?
I don't know if that's a mistake or if they just figure it's going to be completely different audiences. Remember, it's nothing for Fox. They're already set up. You know what I mean? Their system is already set up. They can just throw it on. It's no skin off their dick. It's about, but they want a certain percentage of money, whatever's made. So yeah, it comes down to this: the PBC doesn't have the money for these fights. He doesn't have a location. I mean, a network to put him on or the fucking money to pay the fighters. So he expects fans to fucking finance. And the fact he's actually expecting fans to finance Thurman Barrios tells you this dude is clueless.
I think they made a mistake, by the way. I think it's the Zone. And I think ESPN made a mistake on their website and they put that as a Fox pay-per-view. Because it says here on the official website of the Zone. Yeah, on the official The Zone website, it says all will be live worldwide on the Zone except Thailand, which I assume has a different. Yeah.
Because Estrada fought he fought Cuadras on the Zone, right? BDA?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, fellas. I mean, we've been on for about 3 hours now. We touched up on a bevy of subjects. Tomorrow, Gary Russell Jr. takes on Magsayo. We got Subidel Matthias taking on Ananyan, the rematch.
Oh, BDA.
Yes.
It's gonna be a good fight.
Can I say something?
We never did. We never even picked anybody. We never did pick on that fight, huh?
It's too many people.
I got Gary Russell winning that fight.
Yeah, it's too many people here right now to make picks. How about you leave it in the comment section? Leave it in the comment section.
Dick, dude.
Oh, okay. I thought you were being serious. Okay, Fighter Spirit, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted everybody on the panel. I'm like a Ouija board. Can you guys say goodbye to me or it'll go wrong?
Hey, see you later, Fighting Spirit. Talk to you later, buddy.
Good night, Fighter Spirit.
Peace out, guys.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, Black Chibi, who are you picking again? Gary Russell or Magsayo?
Gary Russell.
Why am I not surprised?
Oh, come on. Now, wait a minute.
Okay. I actually have Gary Russell winning too.
All right, there you go. There's other people picking Gary Russell Jr.
Wait. That was before I heard about the weight drain. I'm gonna have to rethink of my
Bro, weight drain. Trainer's out. He says he's injured. He's making weird excuses, dude. It's upset in the making, man. Upset in the making.
He might lose, man.
I had him my prediction was before all of this. I had Gary Russell by 11th round KO because I thought Mark would gas out too quickly by throwing his right hand a lot. But after seeing the weight drain, the trainer, and the excuses, I may choose Magsayo.
Right. Well, he did go through a lot. His dad lost his foot. His brother fucking died. So yeah. But anyways, we'll see. Good night, everybody. Guys, all be good.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Eddie Valenzuela for his contribution with the super chat. This Nelo told Valdez what Gonzalo said. Told him to feint more because punching got him countered too much. Shout out, fellas. Good stuff. All right, Eddie. Thank you for your call, man. Really appreciate it. I mean, for your contribution. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Boxing Expert who says, he's in Spanish. He says, this little pussy Charlo is going to eat, he's going to eat dick. Vayan haciendo sus excusas. Start making your excuses because the ginger with the freckles is going to beat him up like a piñata. Oh, shout out to Boxing Expert for his contribution. I'm telling you, this fight, it's really going to rile people up, man. So I think Charlo Canelo, at the very least, it should give us a spectacle outside of the ring. Inside the ring at the same time, he's got punching power, so it should be interesting. It's better. Look, I'm tired of seeing Canelo fight these guys like Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant who are movers but don't really hit that hard. Charlo, at the very least, he's not gonna run. Yeah. He's gonna stand in front of him, and he's got
punching power. And the last thing I do want to say before we close out is fuck Canelo. But go ahead though. I'm done.
He's got punching power, and he's also pretty accurate. So if somebody can find an opening between that guard that Canelo holds up, it might be Charlo with a punch here and there. Isolated punches, but hopefully he can throw in some punches where he can find the target.
Charlo's not a fighter. He's not that guy.
Well,
if the fight happens, come on, Jimmy. All you gotta do is believe.
all you gotta do is believe. Well, I don't know about that, man. But belief and faith does take you a good long way. That I will agree with. Well, listen, fellas. Thanks to everybody that showed up here on the panel. Really appreciate it. What else was it? Yeah, thank you guys. By the way, somebody posted a picture. It was MMA champ. I don't know how he gets his. Supposedly, there's a guy with a gimp mask, and he's standing under a woman, and she's got her feet, one of her foot on.
Apparently,
one of her feet.
That's Rolly.
Yeah, and apparently that's Rolly Romero. Well, Gonzalo, let me just finish, please. So apparently, Rolly's into feet, and he's into getting what? He's into getting toenails in his eye or something. I don't know. I don't know. That's too weird for me, man. I don't know what to say about that. But anyway, listen, fellas, really appreciate.
King Rowe can't beat him, dude.
Sorry, BDA. Hey, fighting spirit, I believe in you. That's all it takes.
He already left, man. He already left.
Good night, my friend.
Well, listen, fellas, thanks to everybody that joined. Thanks on the panel. Thanks to everybody that donated the super chat. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat as well. K-Not, Don Ramon Champ, Arcan Inmate, Zion Zolven, AJR, Funkritis, Mark Doherty, Luis Powell Moreno, Gorgorua, Mark Doherty, Rapax Trucking Company, shout out to Rapax, Campos Vasquez, King Bucho in there as well, Steven Schneider, Boxing Expert, Ed Perez, Eddie Valenzuela, Kenneth Lopez, Blue Collar Sports TV, check out Blue Collar Sports TV, and Disturbed Reality, his non-boxing show, Luis Powell Moreno, Brandon Lee, and you guys know, if I missed anybody, we do have to go, but you guys know who you are. Shout out to you fellas, hit the like on the way out. Don't forget to check us out on iTunes, Spreaker, and Spotify.